the loudest voice I could ever imagine said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, like, and I felt like it shook the world, bro. I felt like I could hear it across the universe. It was insane, right? And as soon as he whatever the voice was said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I just woke up.
He's like, imagine, yeah, we were like 16. He's like, we're not friends anymore. Yeah. I was like, all right, like whatever. Like, like literally, you're acting like a 13-year-old girl. Like, okay, yeah. I was like, cool. Like, but since then, like, he didn't really want to talk to me after that. Anyway, I finished school soon after that, so we weren't really in school together anymore. But I heard, you know, like 3 years later that he left Islam and stuff.
You want something more vulnerable? You really want to open the
go
can
on. Be accepted.
Who makes you feel safe?
Okay, this is better, bro. This is better.
Who makes you feel safe? Let me raise my levels while I say this. Who makes you feel safe?
The whole main street of the city was lined with riot police vans. Must have been 50 of them, 100, like a lot of them, yeah. And the police just came with the tear gas canisters. And I remember, like, when they came out with the canisters, I was like, okay, I should probably like back off. When I was backing off, maybe they thought I was involved, and I'm trying to get away, go down a side street, and a canister like just goes past my head, like full speed. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my nice episode 173. 173. Yes.
Yes, baby.
So, bro, I want to start with a thrilling question for you. Now, this is quite a vulnerable question I'm asking you.
Always me with the vulnerability.
No, but I'm the one. I'm bringing it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's vulnerable, really. It's a bit of a joke. Socks. Okay. Socks.
Yeah, okay. Of course.
Do your socks ever last more than like 6 months?
You know what? I don't know, because even when they're torn up with holes in them, I still wear them. So I've got socks.
Okay, but that's what I would count as not lasting.
But I don't count, you see. I'm not conscious of it.
You don't know, yeah.
When it happens. So yeah, I've got socks from years and years that I still wear.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that, but it's like, it really just gets to the point I can't anymore because of the holes. It's like
bro.
I believe, like, even if I went to some top brand and bought their socks, that it wouldn't last more than 6 months. Like, how can a clothing category be just so broken?
Are you wearing thick socks or thin socks?
On the thinner side, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a history of obviously wearing boots every single day, and that kind of didn't do me any favors. Do I have holes now? I don't even know. Like, half of my socks, I don't even know who they belong to, because they're not. I definitely didn't buy them. Sometimes it's like my in-laws. Like, I'll go visit my in-laws. Yeah, honestly, I'll go and visit my in-laws. I'll stay there over the weekend. I'll come back, and suddenly I've got socks and boxers that aren't mine. You know, my father-in-law or my brothers-in-law, because they're the only other men. Didn't used to have that problem before.
Yeah.
You know, because I was the only guy, so it was quite clear.
So,
but yeah.
So is it just me, or is it like a known thing? Like, socks just don't last?
I don't know, bro. I've never really thought about it, but I'm glad you are doing the hard thinking.
It's literally been a lifelong struggle for me.
Listen,
I'm always like, I'm the guy that will wear trousers for like 3-4 years. Yeah, as long as it's not ripped, I will wear it. And I do that for everything, but socks I can't do it because it's just holes.
Yeah,
and in Turkey, they don't even really want you to come to the masjid without socks on ever. Yes.
Oh, okay.
In the hot weather, cold weather, doesn't matter. You must come with socks on. And so therefore, I'm always like wiping over the socks for wudu. And if it's got a big hole, then, can't do that anymore. So.
Whoa. Are you sure about that? Is your cup full?
No, it depends on the opinion, but I'm just saying in the Hanbali method, that is the...
Oh, I didn't know that. I looked this up once, or someone asked Mufti once, I think, and the reply was the Sahaba had holes in their socks. I don't want to attribute it to Mufti, but I did hear it somewhere.
What I learned is basically, like, if you have a hole where it's like, it's thin, the materials become really thin, yes?
Yeah.
That's fine, that's not a hole. But when it's like you can see through it, the skin through it, then you can't use that anymore for wiping over. But there are multiple opinions, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Barak.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Welcome to the Mind Heist podcast. This is part one of the most exhilarating topic we can talk about today.
Socks, bro. What about other clothes? Like, Do you buy brand clothes, or you buy like those basic like plain clothes? Like you go to
Uh,
vintage like shops, or was it charity shops? What's your vibe?
I don't know. I don't. I don't buy clothes like I used to. So it's. Last thing I can think of buying was a pair of jeans I bought 6, 7 before my father died. So it was like over 7 months ago. Um, because the only pair of jeans I had prior to that had ripped, and I was going to Tunisia or something. I can't remember. I was planning to go somewhere. I had to buy some jeans. Yeah, so I'll go and get what I need from like somewhere that's worth the money.
What
Um,
is that?
like if it's jeans, I'm not too fussy. I'll go to Asda, Sainsbury's,
Yeah.
H&M if I'm feeling a bit better where I am. It depends where I am. T-shirts and stuff. Once again, like this is H&M. It's just a basic colored T-shirt, pure XI as well. Plug that in
Yeah.
there. No, but no. Other than
So
that,
how much is an H&M t-shirt versus like the Asda one? Or
I haven't bought any from. I bought jeans from Asda, but H&M is probably going to be £10 or less. I think less for this.
8-10 pounds
Definitely.
kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
these were
do
like six
like
pounds.
like why do you buy that instead of probably saving a little bit of money and going somewhere cheaper? Does H&M one like last longer? Is it better somehow, more comfortable? Like
I think it's the marketing. I think it's also historically where I probably bought stuff from, and it's also where I am when I remember that I need one. You
yeah,
know, I don't often need t-shirts.
yeah.
If the things I'll probably purchase more that I need, I'll probably when I need socks or when I've ripped my jeans and I need some jeans. Um, that's probably where I'll go out of my way, and it's usually like after Jummah, where am I? Oh, I'm in town. Okay, what's in town? Right, H&M's here. Let me just go into there. I
Yeah.
did like those stores, like I've mentioned before. Like sometimes it's just a bit of a headache because I remember going into Top Man and every single pair of jeans was skinny, and I had a go at them.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
that's
I don't
life.
usually
Yeah.
have a go, but I was just like, guys, you've not got anything like that isn't skinny. They're
Yeah,
like, no, I'm
الحمونة
sorry.
شوي, yeah.
Honestly. Anyway,
Because
so yeah, that's me,
like
bro.
literally, bro, like you're saying H&M. I didn't know what H&M was until like a year ago, probably.
Yeah,
Like I'm not that guy at all.
I
But
I
uh huh,
I will say like I don't go to Primark for jeans
yeah.
only because I'm conscious of jean quality there. Like with jeans, they have to be a certain level of quality because they're more prone to tearing and ripping. But I
Oh,
could get a t-shirt from Primark because I'm not, I'm not expecting my t-shirts to just rip. I'm
right.
expecting my jeans to rip, so I want jeans that are gonna
Ah,
last.
okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I remember like must have been like 10 years ago now. I went to I was with a friend of mine. He's a little bit fancy, yeah. So we were in London, and he's like, yeah, I need some jeans. Let's get some jeans and stuff. I was like, this is kind of, how do you say, it's metrosexual, going flipping shopping with your friend. I was like, yalla, khalas. I I think we must have gone specifically to Oxford Street, yeah, and we
Yeah.
went to Levi's in Oxford Street.
Wow.
Obviously, I never been to none of these shops. Yeah, I've been to Oxford
Yeah.
Street, but I never been to like in the shop. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just walk through
Absolutely.
the street, right? So we went to Levi's. I was like, yo, this is a bit, this is over the top. This is crazy for me. And then I
Yeah.
saw the price. I was like, I mean, this is back then, so I think the jeans were like £120, like starting from that around that amount. And and there was as with many fancy things, like it's not just waist size. No, you got waist size. Then it's like, okay, well, how long do you want it, and how
Yeah.
wide do you want this part, and wide do you want that? And I was like, yo, it's crazy. I was like, okay, that is what you get when you go to these kind of places. But he must have bought like 2-3 pairs of jeans at that price, and I was like,
Long a
okay. I
bit.
mean, if you think that's worth it, then cool. But you
It's
know,
for me. What puts me off actually more is the environment, and I'm not trying to sound like Mr. Pious over here. I can't deal with those environments anymore. There's way too much music blasting. The lights are so bright. You
music makes you
can't.
buy more, innit?
Oh no, it just gives me a headache there.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
you buy
always
to get out, innit?
but it's not. It's not even like it's
Yeah,
not even like the stuff that will calm you down. It's like some
sure.
very heavy
Hypnotic.
dance stuff
Yes.
that you'd probably hear in a club. Like a lot of shops, high street shops like that, are like club music. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
and it's sometimes it can be really busy as well. And I don't know if you're the same, but like I start when I try and start trying clothes on, I start getting really hot and flustered, like really, really uncomfortably hot and flustered.
Okay.
Like if I take my t-shirt off, put another one on, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to get out of here. And I don't know if it's like claustrophobia or
This is,
whatever.
bro, this is vulnerability to a next level now.
Bro, I don't know, man. But obviously I worked retail before. I worked in Next before.
Okay.
I worked in Clark's before.
Where's Next in the branding levels? Like, is it above H&M, below?
I think they used to have a bigger kind of respect level. I don't know about now. I think you go to Next if you want a decent priced, a decent quality / decent priced work shirts and stuff like that. You know, you got an interview coming up, but you don't want to spend a fortune.
So it's not so much for casual stuff?
I can't remember. I didn't shop from there myself, to be fair. I remember.
But I thought you'd have more to say about this topic. I thought you were that guy.
I was that guy, and you know, cost of living crisis, like we spoke about last episode. Honestly, it's I don't think about spending money like that anymore.
Sure.
Looking relatively presentable, like I've got the styles that you see me wearing on Mind Heist. They probably repeat themselves quite often. You know, if it's clean, I'm going to wear it, and that's what I'll do. And I'm not really actively thinking of, oh, I really like that shirt, and which is ironic considering I've got Pure XI running now.
Yeah.
But you know, for those that can afford it, of course, buy my stuff. But for those that don't, I know what it feels like, and you know, the not demographic, but the lifestyle's changed, bro. I've got more kids now. I've got more responsibilities. I've got less money to kind of throw away, you know. And you're a father. We all know what it's like. You just put yourself at the back of the queue, really, because me and my friend were talking about this recently, actually. Everybody's got different thresholds on what they can spend money on. Like, for example, if my kids were hungry, my family hungry, I'd have no problem spending 30 quid on a takeaway for everyone. Like, it doesn't even blip my radar. It hurts my bank account. It won't blip my radar. Like, it won't be like, oh, why did I do that? I won't judge myself. I won't regret it. I might regret it if, like, I overate and I'm like, oh, that was a waste. But if all my kids have eaten, my wife's eaten everything, alhamdulillah. However, if I was to go to a shop and be like, oh, I like that t-shirt, I'll spend 30 quid on it, it will just stay in my chest, bro. And I'll just feel really uncomfortable that I made that purchase. And I'll be really unhappy. Unless I needed it, such as I've only got one pair of jeans that just ripped, I need this. And even then, I'll try and get something that's... And I don't know, I think a lot of that is just to do with the amount of income that I've got and the amount of, you know, left over that I can afford to spend. But for your family and stuff, I think, alhamdulillah, Allah takes a lot of that out of your, you know, your heart and stuff. Like, you know, a couple of days ago, my kid needed school uniform. I was like, oh, let me get him 2 pairs of jumpers. Actually, let me get him some polo shirts as well, you know, and some other bits. I didn't even think about it. And I went to pay and it was like 32 quid altogether. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit more than I thought it was. Oh, well, like I didn't blip my radar.
Yeah.
I could have easily gone and bought myself a shirt and, you know, anyway, that's just me.
I think I take pride in how I deal with my money. Like I don't think I'll ever regret buying anything. Yeah. But what comes with that is I joke about this, but it's real life. Yeah. I might spend 2 months deciding to buy something that I'm not talking about a car or a house. Yeah. Something. Maybe it's a few £100. I might literally take a couple months deciding on that.
Right.
So although, alhamdulillah, I don't really regret any purchases because they all seem to end up being good purchases. Yeah. But there's a you know, a problem, which is how long it takes to decide.
Yeah. I think everyone's got their purchasing habits.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't very impulsive with a lot of things apart from video games, 100%. Like, video games became a problem, especially when it went all digital and I went all digital. I used to buy physical stuff, and that was, at least with physical stuff, you could say, right, I'm kind of bored with this, let me go trade it in, right? And that used to be a thing.
Oh, right.
Now because a lot of it is digital, and the deals that they'll have on digital products is just as good, if not better sometimes. It's like, oh, look, it's £6 for this. Oh, I wanted to play that last year. Because I'm not in a rush to play stuff. It's like, oh, I really wanted that last year. It was when it was 50. Now it's like, do you know what I mean? Let me grab it. And then
so net, you might spend more because of the deals.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And now I've become conscious to that recently, and I have really stopped like Yeah,
But
I'm
you
trying to
lost.
stop
You
even
sold
more.
your PlayStation, didn't you?
Yeah, but there's still other stuff. Still got the Switch and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So you know,
but
like when you used to trade the games in, how much of the value would you like recoup from that?
hardly any, bro.
Like
But
less than
you'd get more
50%.
value if you were. You'd get more value if you were to trade it in for points
Oh,
to purchase something else as opposed to cash.
this is like
Um,
what's that thing? GameStop,
GameStop in America.
GameStop. Oh no, in England, what's the shop? There's Game, right? With the is it
There
purple?
was Game Station, but that was a long time ago, and you probably
Okay,
missed the boat. But there is
bro.
Game. It's just
These
Game.
places, yeah, like it's like when I went UK summer holiday, I see them. Maybe I go inside, take a look, but I never bought anything there because I didn't even live in UK and stuff like that. I just
Yeah, like I said, everyone's got their stuff, bro. I know some people.
there's
Like,
those nerd shops as well. Like I don't know what they're called, but I call them nerd shops where you buy those like Warhammer figures and all that.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
see those sometimes. I'm like, yo, people have money
People
to
have their
spend.
things, bro. Yeah, people have their things. People
Yeah,
have books. People do the same thing with books.
yeah,
And I've had my phases of that where I'm just like, oh, I need this book, I need this book, and I need this
yeah,
book, and I
yeah,
haven't read any of them, but I
yeah,
still need them. Because you think, oh, actually, I'll fix myself up by purchasing books instead, but reading them would probably be more effective than just buying them.
Hmm.
But alas, here we are. How have you read all those books in your shelf?
Uh, I mean,
No,
like eighty
had to think
percent.
about it.
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
these are like the special books. You know, these are
Mm.
not like all the books. Just when
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
special, I buy the physical copy.
I like that. I'm 100% more audiobook if I can now, and not because I don't want to
Yeah,
read. I think it's by the time that I have any time to sit and read, I'm already too tired. Because as soon as I'll start opening the book, I'm falling asleep.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
during the day, you've got this is a thing now. Like, wake up, kids are already awake. Work, 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 work. Finish at work at about 4 o'clock. Okay, do I spend some time with the kids because I haven't seen them all day, and I have to fit time for food, try and go to the gym at some point. Kids go to sleep at 7, so think about it. That's 3 hours really. I need to have some time with my kids, have an hour, and then maybe an hour eating.
yeah.
By 7 o'clock, and they've gone to sleep, I'm already kind of dozing off. Or
Oh,
I try and spend at least an hour with my wife,
yes.
together. Come 8 o'clock, it's
I think
pushing
the
it.
trick for you then, yeah, because your key time would be like after 7 then, right? But you're too
Yeah.
tired. So the key would be, I think, do a little, literally a 10-minute nap at 7, and then you'd be ready to go.
But I get sleep paralysis very badly.
What is
If
that?
anyone, oh, we don't know about sleep paralysis. You
Is
must
that
know about
like
sleep
when you
paralysis.
wake up and you can't move or something?
Yeah. So if I have a nap, I'll be fine during the nap. If I try and sleep again at night, I'll get the worst sleep paralysis. My mum, I inherited it from my mother. She's not very proud of that, but I don't know if you can inherit it, but she definitely says I got it from her. She used to get it all the time.
So you
I've
can't,
had it.
like, how's it work? Like, what triggers it?
Right, let's talk about sleep paralysis. Let's have a sleep paralysis episode.
Yeah.
Should we bring up a wiki? I
Yeah.
think
So
we
you
need
don't
to.
know, like, what triggers
No,
it?
well, I don't know what. Actually, let's bring up the NHS website
Okay.
because at least that way we can look at the medical thing, and maybe I can learn something at the same time. Sleep paralysis. There's a very famous painting about sleep paralysis that we can look at afterwards.
Okay.
Because if you search it on Google, you're going to come up with some. Can I just share my whole screen? There we go.
What the hell, man?
Here's a full page image.
Okay. Oh, I've never seen this in my life.
Every time I see a YouTube video or whatever about sleep paralysis, this is the picture I see.
What's
It's a
that?
painting. It's
What's
a
that
painting of,
horse thing?
yeah, I don't know, some horse looking through the curtain there.
Bro, that's a
There's
demon horse.
also a demon on top of this sleeping woman,
Yeah.
and they're not having a good time. Right, sleep paralysis is when you cannot move or speak as you are waking up or falling asleep. It can be scary, but it's harmless, and most people will only get it once or twice in their life. Once or twice. Could you imagine if I had this once or twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have periods where I have it 9 times in one night. I will have it constantly throughout the week. I used to get it more than I get it now. But let's see what what it feels like. So it feels like you're awake, but you cannot move, speak, or open your eyes, like someone is in your room, like something is pushing you down and feeling frightened. The cause of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis happens when you cannot move your muscles as you are waking up or falling asleep. This is because you are in sleep mode, but your brain is active. It's not clear why sleep paralysis can happen, but it has been linked with insomnia, disrupted sleep patterns. So there you go, because of shift work or jet lag. And that's why when I nap, it messes me up. Narcolepsy, a long-term condition that caused a person to suddenly fall asleep. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and general anxiety disorder and panic disorder, and a family history of sleep paralysis. There you go. My mum was right. Look at that. Definitely maybe a bit of anxiety and trauma and stress. As you can imagine, shift work and all the stuff I've dealt with, I've had it worse sometimes. Like last night, I was super stressed out. I'll be honest with you, and then I definitely had it again last night. But what happens is, and I'll stop sharing that for now. For myself, at least, there's obviously a religious connotation to all of this, right? Because
Really?
when a lot of fatwa have been asked to shuyukh. Some shuyukh have said it's a medical thing. A lot of them have said it's a jinn thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a jinn thing, and I'll give you some qualitative information in relation to that. But the scientific stuff that I've read says that your mind tries to make sense of what's happening, and it will hallucinate, seeing things to try and explain what the hell is happening to you, right? Now, before I knew what sleep paralysis was, I used to hallucinate a lot more than I do now. I used to like see things, and I remember my earliest ever memory of having sleep paralysis. I woke up and I could see like chains all over my body. Like I could see physical chains. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that could have been me hallucinating, whatever. Then, I started seeing more. I can't remember. I remember seeing like a train when I was 6 years old. I remember getting it at 6 years old and seeing a train, like a steam train, blast through one wall of my bedroom and through the other side. But it's not. Yeah, you're probably dreaming. But with a dream, it's so fantastical and outside of your environment, you're dreaming. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. With sleep paralysis, you wake up and it's like you're in your room. You're in the same place you fell asleep in. You're in the same environment, same time of day, same night, whatever. And you're seeing these things. So it's like, it feels even more real. If not, it is real. What is interesting though, is there's always a religious connotation to it, because when you're in stress or when you're in anxiety, you're remembering Allah. You're making dhikr, and I've already obviously adopted that as a lifestyle. When I'm stressed out, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah, calling upon Allah in any times of need, right? So in those times, I'm also doing the same thing. So I remember this one time, and I kid you not, and whatever it was, I still haven't got an explanation. A lot of the times when I've got sleep paralysis, the only thing I can do is move my finger. I can't move anything else. I can only move this index finger, which is like the tashahhud, right? So I'll always be trying to move this. And now my wife is actually, obviously now, shares a bedroom with me. She knows when I'm having it. So if she can see or feel my finger moving, she knows I'm having it, and she tries to get me up. One time, I was trying to move my finger, and I was saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Problem is, with sleep paralysis, is like, you try and talk or shout, and it's like you can't say anything. It's like you're mute.
All right.
You're gasping for air that you can't, and you can't, like, imagine trying to scream but with no voice.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but it's like, I'm trying to say it. Wallahi al-Azim, till this day, bro, and I'm sure it was 100% like I was awake. The loudest voice I could ever imagine said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, like, and I felt like it shook the world, bro. I felt like I could hear it across the universe. It was insane, right? And as soon as he whatever the voice was said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I just woke up. I just got, like, I shot straight up. And then I don't know. Allah knows best. But I was like, SubhanAllah, was that like some angel's intervention in my jinn endeavor right there? You obviously hear this ahadith of jinns messing up people, and then there's angels that Allah sends to protect people, no doubt. Especially in houses where the Quran is recited and where the dhikr of Allah is mentioned. And even there, like I was remembering Allah. I'm not saying that was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that, of course not. But I did think that could have been a messenger from Allah to save me from that situation I was in. And it reminded me a bit of like the descriptions of the angels in general, like when Jibreel alayhi salam revealed himself to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he filled the entire horizon with his wings. Allah has created them in such a way that they what's the word I'm looking for? We are microscopic to them in that regard. You know what I mean? They have power way beyond ours and stuff like that, and they are servants of Allah, absolute servants of Allah. So yeah, I thought, subhanallah, this could be a jinn thing that's messing me up. And actually, prior to sleep paralysis, I used to have like recurring nightmares that were like the same nightmare again and again when I was a kid. When I was my children's age now, the same exact nightmare of it was just like getting thrown into like a bed of black spikes, and it was the same thing, and I'd have it every single night, every single time. And I tell you when that stopped. May Allah bless my parents, I didn't know, but when I was younger, someone gave them like a little locket for me with stuff in it, right? Yeah, and I remember being told as a kid, like, don't open this, don't ever open this. Dude, I went to school and I opened it. Yeah. Like I remember being at like, maybe year one or reception or something, and opening it, and I didn't know what I was looking at back then, but from memory, I think it was like, I remember my dad saying something like, this guy that he knew, he said that although Allah has 99 names, there's like this 100th name, and it's in this code, and he's put it in here, and he's going to protect you and all this stuff. Anyway, when I was a bit older, I came to visit the seaside here in Brighton, and I lost it. That thing, bro. Since then, I didn't have that dream anymore. Out the window, bro. So yeah, I remember that, and it's interesting. All this stuff. It's ilm al-ghayb in a lot of ways.
So what do you think it is? Is it, bro? Is it jinn, or is it anxiety and these things they're saying?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It's difficult because I can predict if I'm going to have it, because like I said, I know if I'm going to have naps like that, I'm messing up my sleep pattern. I'm getting it.
So you're saying that there's a cause and effect to it.
Yeah. So since I started establishing that there's a cause, however, I will not put it past the fact that it's sleep paralysis, because it's there's something of the ghaib that's involved, because there are times where it's sleep paralysis. Like, I know this is sleep paralysis, but why am I still panicking? Where's this anxiety coming from? Like, I know exactly what's happening right now, and I'm still freaking out. Like, what's that about? Like, doesn't make any sense. There's this sinking feeling that you're all trying to fight. It's like you're sinking in your bed and you're trying to push against it and fight against it and breathe and scream and shout and get out of it. But no matter what you do, you're desperately trying to claw your way out of that sinking feeling. Now, I remember reading somewhere.
Once, bro.
You must have.
Like I said, once, yeah.
You must have woken up, tried to move, and just couldn't. And it's like you weigh like 1,000,000 kilos. Like, there's nothing you can do to move yourself.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are. If I even put it in now, sleep paralysis Islam. Get a quick little fatwa. That's what we do.
Quick little fatwa.
Quick little. Yeah. Look, Sheikh Asim al-Hakim has got a little fatwa on it. Just a little one. We got Islam Q&A. We often hear about al-Jathum. It's ma'rufa in an Arab thing. It's like we call it Bughattat in Tunisia / Morocco. I can't remember where that comes from. Yeah. But we have a name for it. Yeah. They obviously call it Jathum here. Summary of the answer: Jathum, sleep paralysis, refers to kabus, which is not a myth or fable. Rather, it's something real that does happen. It may be caused by physical factors, or it may be caused by the jinn. Actually, there's a is this a hadith? Only said in Arab. Ibn Manzur said, Al-Jatham or Al-Jathum is the kabus that descends upon a person at night. The one that descends upon a person when he is sleeping is called Al-Jathum. He also said, the kabus is the one that descends upon the sleeper at night, and it is said that it is the precursor to epilepsy. One of the linguists said, I do not think that is an Arabic word, rather it is Al-Naidalan, etc., etc. There's a whole thing about the reasons for it, and there's a addition by Ibn Sina here. Al-Kabus is a disease that a person feels when he's falling asleep and imagines something heavy pressing upon him, squeezing him and constricting his breath. Hence, he cannot speak or move, and he is almost suffocated because of the obstruction of his airway. When it goes away, he wakes up immediately. This is the precursor to one of three things: epilepsy, apoplexy, or mania. That applies if it is due to physical causes and there is no other physical cause. There's obviously stuff about medical modern day interpretations of that. There's obviously more answers in regards to jinns and stuff. Yeah.
Is it
It's deep.
something that is more common today than like 50 years ago, or you don't know?
I can't say. All I know is that, my mum would get it all the time. I don't know about my sisters. I know I think they've got it. Actually, I remember my sister saying something like, "Oh, that must be crazy," like as if she hadn't had it before. But I remember when I really started talking to my mum about it, she was like, "Yeah, you've definitely got that from me." My dad didn't get it, I don't think, and my wife doesn't get it. And I'm hoping my son doesn't get it, but he has shown signs of something similar. Because I had a period of him just screaming at night. I don't know why. But yeah, that's sleep paralysis, folks. Let us know if you get the same thing. What hallucinations have you seen? Because
there's a lot of mysteries, isn't it?
Bro, the world's a crazy place, subhanAllah.
A lot of mysteries.
The world's a crazy place, and at the end of the day, this is the dunya, and there's a lot more mysteries and crazy things to come. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day, and you've read some or listened to some ahadith regarding the end times and the things that are in store for us. Don't be surprised if some supernatural things start happening.
Bro, we talked about the metal donkey, innit?
Bro, we talked about we did the AI as well to bring that up.
Yeah.
Subhanallah, it's I think honestly you have to separate fact from not even separate fact from fiction. I mean, bring what you actually subconsciously probably perceive as fiction as fact. You read stuff about the end times, Dabat al-Ard, Dajjal, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, all these things that are really, for a lot of people, it's entertainment, really. It's YouTube, and put the YouTube video on and spook yourself out. Then you unplug and then you go live your day. And then when you hear about, UFOs and this peculiar thing happened in this place or whatever, you're like, nah, it can't be true. Nah, it didn't happen. Nah, that's not right. Why? There's peculiar things, prophesized to happen. Peculiar things have happened. And you've got to be mentally prepared for that. Because to me, that's the biggest trap of the Dajjal. Is that he will come and people will say, well, actually, he's doing it, so he must be what he says he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's bringing people to life. He must be what he says he is. Can you imagine the average Muslim that doesn't know about these things? So, for example, before I started practicing, I didn't know anything about Dajjal. I didn't know anything about Ya'juj and Ma'juj. I didn't know anything about all these end time prophecies and the crazy things that are going to happen. I knew about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I knew about praying. I knew about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I knew about the other prophets. So hypothetically, bro, with that limited knowledge, subhanallah, the Dajjal was to show up, and I had that limited knowledge, bro. Allah knows best what I would have done. 100%.
If you had ikhlas and proper tawheed, then you see kafara on his head.
Probably wouldn't even know what that meant. I'd be like, that's. Bro, but even if it said that, akhi, what is that got to do with him bringing, people back from the dead?
It might just make you feel a bit dodgy about it, at least.
I don't know. I'm sure I'd like to think that someone would tell me, and I'd look it up if I had the ability to, whatever the world looks like at that time.
Yeah.
But really and truthfully, for the average Muslim like myself at that time, it's going to put a very hot arrow of doubt in your heart, because you're going to be like, subhanallah. Because, at those times, you can easily be swayed to thinking, well, I'm Muslim and I'm born Muslim. That guy's born Christian. That guy's born a Jew. What's to say I'm right? Like, if you don't go seek knowledge of your own religion and your own faith, you don't know you don't have anything, And I've spoken to people that have left Islam recently, right? And I kind of had a, oh, that's my kid crying. I don't know why. I had a bit of a go. I was like, dude, you ain't even left nothing. You weren't even in the gym to begin with. Like, you didn't know much about, a lot of ex-Muslims I've spoken to, they talk with so much achievement and pride, like they've achieved something great and they're enlightened now and they've done something awesome, right? They weren't even there to begin with. One could argue, legitimately argue, if you're even Muslim to begin with, because you didn't pray when everyone was praying, you didn't fast when everyone was fasting, right? All of these fundamental things, you weren't part of. Didn't even read the Quran when you meant to read the Quran. Never came to the mission. None of the symbols are there. So what did you really achieve? What did you know of your religion to feel like you've accomplished something by leaving it? Now, if somebody left after they'd studied and they're like student, and I'm not saying that people haven't. Obviously, Allah guides and misguides whom He wills, right?
Yeah.
Those are the people you can have maybe a debate with and actually start. Don't waste your time with people that think they've achieved something and they don't even know the religion to begin with. Because actually, you had a diamond in front of you and you just didn't know what you had. And for a lot of these people, I think the too difficult light comes on. That's all it is. It's, oh, these rules are too difficult. I'm going to leave. You know?
Yeah, that's what they say. Like the shahawat comes and then the shubuhat come.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Like you have an issue with, look at this earphone falling apart. You see that?
Allah Mubarak.
These earphones, you know, I've got the same earphones 3 times. They broke, I got a new one. Broke, got a new one. These ones didn't lasted the shortest time because of all the times my son is pulling on them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but they still work for now.
I mean, have you had any sort of discussions with people like that?
People who left Islam?
Or like, something like that. Or people that are very, very doubtful or whatever.
Let me think. I know one person who was in school with me. He left Islam. Allah yahdi. Yeah, for him it was fully. I would say, when I knew him, we were in the same class together. We were friends, yani. Yeah. And his parents quite religious, but quite, how would you say it? Quite busy with the dunya, you could say, but they were quite religious.
Yeah.
And they didn't spend too much time with him, yani. The relationship was not amazing. What I found with him, before he left Islam or anything like that, is that he was very ego-driven, very, you can't even say confident. It was purely just like maybe a lack of confidence caused him to have a level of arrogance.
Yeah.
And very much into kind of chasing girls and just feeling good about himself, trying to like score points with himself and with friends. Right. And this is yani how I would describe him. And it's funny, yeah. Like, so how do I say this? Basically, there was one time, we were friends. You could say he was one of my top 3 to 5 closest friends.
Yeah.
And one day, again, because of his arrogance, his ego, he picked a fight on a guy that you really shouldn't pick a fight with, just because of the kind of strings he can pull.
Yeah, absolutely.
And literally, he provoked the fight. There was no issue of justice and no, I'm standing up for something. He provoked the fight. Probably something to do with a girl or something like that. So when he provoked this fight, I actually initially wasn't even there, but eventually when they were actually fighting, then I came.
Oh, of course you did.
I came and I didn't like join the fight and start attacking this other guy. Instead, I tried to break it up. And I probably did it half-heartedly though. Yeah, because I was already sick of this guy's antics. Yeah. Like, you're provoking people that you shouldn't be provoking. Why? For your ego. Yeah, I'm not getting in trouble for your ego. I'll get in trouble for justice, for something, So anyway, after that time, he's like, "Oh, I saw, you didn't come and fight alongside me, this and that." It was almost like he wanted to lay a trap for me to see what I would do or something like that. He's like, imagine, we were like 16. He's like, "We're not friends anymore." Yeah. And he probably thought I would like beg him for forgiveness. I was like, all right, like whatever. Like, like literally, you're acting like a 13-year-old girl. Like, okay, yeah. I was like, cool. Like I don't want friends who are gonna do that stuff. So
yeah.
That was probably like not what he wanted to hear. But since then, like, he didn't really want to talk to me after that. Anyway, I finished school soon after that, so we weren't really in school together anymore. But I heard, like 3 years later that he left Islam and stuff. And my other close friend met him and spoke to him about this whole topic, and he probably tried to convince him and stuff. But what my friend told me, from what he described, it was all, I just want to live my life. I want to follow my desires.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to follow my desires, and I found all this like quote unquote evidence to back up the fact that logically I shouldn't be Muslim anyway. I just hope, bro, that his parents don't find out, because that'll be horrible for them.
Yeah, that is a big fear, isn't it? And obviously with kids ourselves, you can't imagine. My son sent me a video, subhanAllah, today while I was at work, and he was just singing like, who made the birds? Allah. Who made this? Allah. Allah made everything. And I was like, whoa, that's sweet, bro. Like, that's amazing. And I hope he holds on to that. And he's got a real like solid concept of who Allah is, what Allah is capable of, makes dua all the time. understands that through dua things happen, and I try and facilitate that. He'll make dua for something specific that he's allowed to have. I'll go out and get it for him, and he won't even know that I'm going to, those kind of things. And I'll tell him it's not from me, it's from Allah. But yeah, likewise, bro, like this individual I was talking to, I would characterize, I've always thought the biggest issue they've got is a aversion to responsibility. Okay. Not stepping up to the plate, not taking, responsibility for their own life, for their own actions, etc. And certainly when they were coming out with this rhetoric, I was just like, this is you to a T. The too difficult light came on. You weren't following these rules to begin with. They had issues with the beard. They had issues with certain rules and legislations in Islam. Okay.
Bro, having an issue with a beard is so petty. Well, it's like I have an issue with fingernails. Like it's a tiny aspect of life.
Either way, bro. So it's like, okay, you have aversion to these things that you didn't follow in the first place. Obviously, they put some level of guilt in your heart, which is why you had an issue with it. Then suddenly you've hit me up because I'm the biggest symbol in your life of this religion. So hit me up out of the blue and start talking to me about this stuff. Fair enough. As if you want validation from me or me to fight for your, fight to bring you back or whatever it is. But ultimately what I realized is there was something that they said about a particular thing in Islam, a particular legislation or discussion. They're like, yeah, this bit is wrong. This is wrong. I was like, okay, sweet. Now that you haven't got religion anymore, what defines that that's wrong? Okay. That's wrong. Why? Where's your morality come from? I asked them. They're like, well, it's from my heart. I was like, okay, so you make your own rules up. Is that what it is? You decide
someone
what's
else's
good.
heart says something different.
Exactly. And they were like, well, any good person, I believe any good person goes to heaven. Like they still believed in some afterlife. It was like any good person will meet each other in heaven. Okay, what's good to you? Good to someone's good to someone else. I said, how about, I kind of ended it here, but I was like, how about you go off, make your universe, go make your entire universe and your stars and your galaxies and your solar systems and your human beings and your animals and your bacteria and everything and anything that's within this universe. Go and make that, then make your own rules. Because if you've got a problem with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, making his own rules up for this universe that we live in, he's blessed us with, then who are you to start deciding otherwise? Do you understand? Like, ultimately, I'm not going to, there's no point arguing what the rules are. There is no point. If you believe there's a creator, then you believe that he knows better than you, because there's no way that you could make anything comparable to any of this that's out there.
Yeah.
So who are you to argue about whatever the rules are? Oh, it's a beard, and it's praying 5 times a day, and it's giving a bit of my money in charity. So just do it. And at the end of the day, another final point. Some of these, I said to them, look, yeah, you've left Islam, but Islam will always, forever, eternally be on your mind, right? Some of the stuff I do, I don't even think about, alhamdulillah. I just do it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just part and parcel of me to pray and stuff. It's part and parcel. Don't have to think too hard. You've got to think so hard all the time about this religion that you probably put yourself a label on social media as ex-Muslim so-and-so. And everything you post and everything you talk about is about Islam. No matter how far away you try and run from Islam, it's always on the tip of your tongue and the forefront of your mind.
You end up promoting it, actually.
You end up promoting it, but also you're so active in trying to get other Muslims off of it as if they're going to hell. I should be the other way around. I should be chasing you. Why are you chasing me? If the end goal for the human being is happiness, then hey, I'm already happy. Leave me out of your discussion. If a Muslim is happy following Allah's rules, following Allah's legislation, why are you so actively trying to pull them off of that? Surely happiness is your ultimate goal. If they're happy, if they're right, they're going to Jannah and you're going to Nar. If you're right, well, everybody wins anyway.
Yeah. But they got to be happy his way.
You'll be happy always. So at the end of the day, all it comes down to is their own personal insecurity, their own personal vendetta and vengefulness that I can handle the rules, and I'm intimidated and I'm made to feel inferior by you being able to do it, that I need to knock you down at any opportunity I can get. That's all it is. It's a complex jealousy. That's all it is.
Something like Surah Al-Munafiqun يحسبون كل صيحة عليهم. They think that everything, they're all talking about me, it's all about me, who are they going to do about me? That's munafiqeen, but obviously munafiqeen, Yawm al-Qiyamah, they're kuffar in the end, right? In this life, maybe on the surface there's something else, but yeah, man. But maybe he was hesitant to leave Islam, and he was, hitting you up to maybe find some way back, some reason to come
Now,
back.
do you know what? I had another person like this a few years ago, and you know, I give them the opportunity to remain amicable, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like I go off on atheists and agnostics every day. Okay, they don't even enter my thought process. I don't think about them. I don't think about atheists and agnostics on a daily basis like an ex-Muslim thinks about other Muslims. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I remember giving this particular individual who he didn't leave Islam in a way. I mean, he kind of did. Depends what your opinion is on particular sects, right? But let's say he left a particular, you know, he left mainstream Islam. Let's say that, right? I was like, listen, we debated, and this is when I was first started practicing. We debated all night long. At the end of it, I was like, listen, you know, I'll give you a clue here. I was like, listen, Aisha radiallahu anha, Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the Sahaba, listen, just leave them out of our talks. Feel what you want to feel in private. Say what you want to say in private. Not that I agree with it, but between me and you know, we're boys and that. Let's just leave it out. There's no need. Is there a need? There's no need. Even if you believe whatever you believe, there's no need to bring that into my, you know, my arena right now. So when I talk to you, we'll talk about anything and everything. Let's just leave that out. Yes, okay, Hassan will agree. Next day, bro, just out of the blue, just start ripping into the Sahaba on purpose, trying to provoke me. Do you know what I mean? I was like, right, that's it. It's over. Like, I've given you an opportunity to just be amicable, and you clearly don't want that. Same thing happened with this occasion. I was like, okay, fine. We agreed to disagree. I respect you fully, you know, and I'd like to think you do the same. And if you feel like I've offended you by debating, listen, I'm only just trying to discuss this with you. I'm not, still respect you, whatever. Bro, literally, after we'd said that, not even an hour later, starts making like anti-Islam jokes and reviling the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, stuff like that. And I was just like, you can't handle it, can you? Like, you just can't handle it. They talk about, you know, this. They talk about the pioneering Western world and its, you know, its civilized agenda and all this. You can't even agree to a certain agreement of not disparaging each other in a insulting way.
Bro, it was just your confident masculinity that intimidated him, because you're a top G.
I think just people don't expect, because you don't go into those debates, people don't know how much of that you've got in you. Do you understand?
Sure, yeah.
If you've never, like, for example, I mean, I wouldn't know. I couldn't even imagine how you would be if I, hypothetically, and may Allah protect me, if I became ex-Muslim. Like, how would you talk to me? Would you even have the vernacular to debate me? Or someone else? You might not get into those conversations every single day. Like, I don't get into conversations with ex-Muslims or even kuffar to that extent, that much every single day. So until it happens, that particular individual doesn't know what capability, how you're going to react. Are you going to blow up and get angry? And what they were expecting.
Yeah.
Because the way that they approached me, Akhi, was, so, is my blood halal to you? You're going to kill me now? Literally like that. That's what it was. I was like, hello? What? What's going on? And it's just like that, trying to prod and provoke and get what they want, which is the raging, angry Muslim bearded man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not biting. Like, you're not getting that out of me. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know? But what you will get is me reminding you how much of a fool you are, you know, in the nicest of ways. And may Allah guide us all, ultimately. But no, look, just to kind of wrap a bow on all of this, it does make me think deeply about our assumed guidance in this world. We think we're Muslim now, we'll be Muslim tomorrow. You know, we think we're Muslim this year, we're Muslim the year before, we'll be Muslim next year, right? You never, you know, never think for a second that your guidance is guaranteed. Continue to make dua to Allah to guide you. Continue to make dua to Allah to show you the you know, the truth from the falsehood, and don't entertain these doubts. No, like, even though I was in this discussion, I didn't go into any of the stuff that they were trying to throw me off of. Alhamdulillah, 99% of it I was familiar with anyway. There were certain intricate laws and legislations that I haven't read too deeply about. But what I said to my wife when I was explaining this, I almost like a teacher, I said to her, I was literally I was pointing at our bedroom wall, trying to do a diagram with my hands. I said, listen, I got this entire circle here, right? Massive, beautiful circle. This is Islam to me, okay? This all makes sense. This is beautiful. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? This, like, I can't fault this. This is perfect. This is Islam. This is the deen.
Yeah.
Now, there's certain spots in that circle that don't always make sense to me because I don't have the knowledge. Okay, they don't make sense to me because I don't have the knowledge. Do those little small circles mean that everything else that made perfect sense and is clearly from the creator means that everything's invalid now? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Whilst vice versa, let's say you have a massive black circle, massive black dark ugly circle, makes no sense. It's all over the place, right? 1 minute it believes this, next minute it's saying that, next minute it's contradicting. But in those small circles, there's some white lights. There's some white little circles. Those are the circles of truth. They do make sense, right? Let's take karma, for example. Let's take karma. Some people believe in karma. Karma don't make no sense because you can't say that karma created the universe. You know, you can't say that karma is the reason why babies suffer or die. Is it? Because in Islam, we've got an answer for that. We can say that they're going to Jannah, better place, intercede for their parents. Here, you can't say karma can do that, hypothetically speaking. So, but the little things of karma might make sense. Well, what you do could be what you reap what you sow, you know?
Yeah.
Every sin has its inevitable consequence, right? Does that mean, because it has small little things that make truth, the whole thing's right now? No. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense. So if you read the Quran, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a message to everybody. Speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you truly read it. And I mean, you read it and you study it and you try and understand what you're reading. And especially if you can understand and try and practice Arabic. And I know a little bit of Arabic. You know, alhamdulillah, I can read the Quran in Arabic. I might not understand, 100% of what I'm saying, but 80% I'm there. Do you understand? Obviously, there's classical Arabic and there's deep stuff that even everyday Arab speaker wouldn't understand. When I read the Quran, and I'm sure you feel the same, and any Muslim, bi'idhnillah, will feel the same, you know that this isn't something from this world. You know that this there's no way that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as historically narrated, not just in a hadith, but by historians, by fact checkers that aren't even Muslim, there is no way that this could come out of Arabia during that time, among those people, among that sort of status. Impossible.
ما ينطق عن الهوى. Boom.
That's it. And wallahi al-azim, and I think I always criticize my younger self for this, because I started practicing and I didn't really pick up the Quran for years after I started practicing. I was on YouTube giving dawah, I was on YouTube talking to people, and I was intimidated by the Quran because it was in Arabic. You know, I'd read some translations, I'd read some ayat that people post on Instagram and stuff, but to pick up the Quran in Arabic and just start reading it, I was too intimidated. Which is why I probably had a hard time internally, like trying to stay true to practice what I preach, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, a lot of Muslims do that. I've seen a lot of Muslims do that. They get on the microphone too quick because they've got this zeal. And no doubt I had this zeal. I found Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know? But reading the Quran, that's where it comes from. That's where your yaqeen comes from. And it really is the living miracle. Because you go, well, I want to see a prophet walk on water. I want to see a prophet split the sea. I want to see a prophet split the moon. I want to see what other people saw. We haven't got any miracles now. So how am I going to believe in God? It's right in front of you. It's on your shelf. It's on collecting dust. It's on your phone. You know, you hear it in the radio. You hear it in YouTube. But you don't study it. You don't ponder over it. And it's just a reminder to anyone that's struggling to just pick up the Quran. Download Quranly today. No, honestly, pick up the Quran, subhanAllah, and download it on your phones and just start reading it and just start trying to study it, even a little bit, and forget everything else. Honestly, a lot of the time I'd say if you haven't got time for anything else, forget everything else. We spoke about books earlier. You know, yeah, books are great if you've got extra time, but if you've got no time, then just the Quran. That's all you need. That's really all you need, just to be able to study it. Listen to a lecture every now and again about a particular surah or a particular verse, and then suddenly you appreciate the detail, the immense, you could have Surah Al-Nasr, for example, so short, so small. Why is there a lecture on it like 5 hours long? Do you know what I mean? You could have a tafsir of Juz Amma. You could listen to the whole thing for a year, the tafsir, like if it's on, Audible. You could have tafsir volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes. From what? If I was to write something now, I mean, you could decipher it and dissect it in half a page because I haven't got that kind of wordplay.
Depends how deep I go.
Even the average lyricist, who writes rap music and God knows what. They have wordplay that generally, maximum they can squeeze out of a sentence is maybe 3 meanings. 2 meanings on average. Do you know what I mean? 2 meanings on average. The wordplay can be like, say this and this, which actually could also mean this and this. That's it. That's as far as you go. That's as far as you go. Do you know what I mean? But with the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it goes and it carries on and it carries on. And the tafsir from the ulama before us and the people, our prior predecessors, it continues and it continues and it connects to this verse, it connects to this and it connects to this and it connects to this. Anyway.
And I guess that's part of the... It's actually kind of the pleasure of the dunya in a sense, in terms of you can really enjoy learning that, studying that, You can really enjoy that and be in the majalis al-dhikr, right? Where there's a hadith about the majalis al-dhikr and all the, amazing reward that comes with that. And it's like, you're enjoying it, you're getting the reward for it, and it's like, great, it's amazing.
100%.
Yeah, Allah give it to us, man.
I mean, like I said, man, Go on.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't really listen to none of these like lectures or anything on YouTube, like at all.
Really,
These days.
Yeah.
I read my Quran and it's about it, right? But recently we tried to start like a halaqa thing, little reminder thing every week. I mean, we're supposed to be doing seerah, like 0 to the end, but last week we didn't do that. And it was like basic topic, Yani, but it's definitely like a reminder benefits the believer, Yani, in these areas. But one thing I thought about years ago, just came back to me, the reminder benefits the believer, but for it to be a reminder, you need to know it in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
even linguistically,
we need to know it in the first place, Yani. Like, for example, you go to a reminder. There's a reminder after Isha, for example, about patience.
Yeah.
But like, you could hear about patience every week for a year, and still like be learning new things. So why am I saying that? I'm just saying, like, if you gain knowledge, that's the first time you learnt it, then every time after that is a reminder, and that's like really beneficial. But if it's like you stay like surface level, then I don't know, it doesn't benefit as much.
You've got to be... Look, I'm not talking about everyone becoming a student of knowledge here. I know I'm certainly not. And,
but I'm just saying, like, 60 years of existence.
Yeah.
Surely you can,
It's about self-help in the sense that remind yourself with that which you know that benefits you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could listen to an hour-long lecture about a very specific fiqh issue that doesn't necessarily... You're just curious about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily do much for you.
Yeah.
You could read a book about the jinn, for example, or black magic, which a lot of people do, or certain aspects of akhirah or whatever, which may benefit you a little bit, but actually your problem is your heart. Like, your problem is you can't leave off these sins that you're committing. Your problem is, how you treat your wife or how you treat your kids, or like, that's your problem, and that's your problem. But you're kind of almost entertaining yourself with some of the religion because you're not trying to address the issues that you've got. And there's certain things that are universal. Like, I think everyone can benefit from trying to change their heart and learning more about the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I only say that because that's what I'm listening to at the moment. Like, I'm going to the gym. I need to listen to something. Sometimes I try and not listen to anything. Sometimes I'm like, I need something to kind of push me a little bit further, and give me a bit more kind of goals and be a bit more goal oriented with what I'm trying to do here. I've been listening to a series by Ali Hamoud, actually, on change of hearts.
Tremendous guy. Great guy.
Bro, he's the best.
I remember I met him once at Hajj.
Yeah.
And he had that shape up, bro.
Yeah, he looks good, bro.
He had the Hajj shape up.
He looks sharp, Allahumma barik. May Allah bless him. I've never met him. And I've only kind of rediscovered him again. I've recognized his face. I've seen him around. Only kind of rediscovered him in the past few weeks. I think because his Instagram is being managed, and they're popping up reels, bro. They're popping up them reels. They're popping out those reels, and they're really good. Some of them are really good. Yeah. So it did work. The click through rate, so to speak, got me onto his YouTube channel.
Okay.
No, but absolutely, like, anything about changing the heart, like, it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's vast in its, it's small in its meaning, but it's vast in its results. So
And
just
it's
being conscious of
non-stop as
that.
well, isn't it?
100%. And these things are non-stop. This is ilm that is non-stop. Like you
Yeah.
said, everybody knows, but it's the reminder that actually puts the action in, right?
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's it. Bro, should we have a quick break? Do you mind?
Oh yeah, sure. Go on then, mate. Let's get back to it. You know, you're talking about spending money. You know, when you have a business, it's different. It's next level.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of money, and you know how I told you, like, I spent 2 months deciding to buy something. In business, like 2 seconds, you know, and you like I don't know. It's just, you know, like everything sold to businesses is overpriced, but at the same time, the businesses are like, yeah, happy to pay. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's like when I'm paying for stuff, I'm like, I'm thinking how this is going to make me money, basically, right? So it's like,
It's an investment
I
kind of
justify
thing.
it in my mind, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I just yesterday I signed up. Was it today or yesterday? I don't
Sort
want
of,
to give too much information, but I spent a lot of money, bro, on a software. Software, and you know, like with software, it's like, yeah, they just made like 98% profit on that. But it's a very special software, very like unique software, but like, wow, like they got me, and I'm like happy to spend it, Annie, because I feel like, yeah, it's gonna make me more back.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. You know, even little things like that I will purchase every now and again for the sake of some endeavor that I'm doing, whether it's some software I'm using, whether it's some, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'll try and justify it in my head. I'll break it down. I'll put a payment plan or something just for it. I'll say I'll cover it as soon as I can.
What I was thinking though is, okay, like we do that in business, right?
Yeah.
And that's like very well known and established, blah blah blah. But people don't do that. I feel like, from what I know, they don't do that for their career prospects, if you like, or for the promotion, right? So let's say you're on 25K a year now, and if you got promoted, you could go to, what's realistic, 27K, 28, whatever, yeah. Let's say you're gonna get 3K a year more every year, though, right?
Right.
So how much would you invest? Like, could you even see it like that? Would you see it like that?
What would you buy though to do that?
What would you buy? So it depends what would get you the promotion. Assuming it's not just a load of sucking up to someone, but there's some level of, okay, if I achieve this, if I'm more productive, if I'm, even if I'm better at speaking in meetings or whatever, right?
Oh, right. So like courses and stuff.
So you could get a course to improve your speaking. You could get a coach to improve your speaking. You could get an aura ring to track your sleep so you're well rested at work, whatever it is. But people don't think that way about work, do they? But you could invest. You could spend £1,000 this year to get a promotion to earn £3,000 extra every year. That would be a good return, right?
I'd like to know how. It's interesting because the way I see the job market, the way I see work now is, I don't know if it's mainstream or if it's an outlier, but I'd like to know how passionate people are about the jobs they go into. Now that I'm like discovering the world of LinkedIn, and then also discovering the critique of LinkedIn and that kind of environment, like I found a Reddit page about LinkedIn, and it was basically defining how LinkedIn is just basically people that just lie through their teeth and suck up to everyone, and it's all chauvinistic, and it's all look at me, hey, look at me. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting from this. Do I become that, or do I? Anyway, I see a lot of people who are like talking about really weird jobs, like data analyst and finance analyzer and whatever, recruitment consultant for engineering. And they're talking about it on LinkedIn with so much passion and energy. And I'm like, how can you get passionate about this dry stuff?
Yeah.
If they are legit, I could see them spending money like that, right? To try and put something else, some sort of accolades on. Because you see that sometimes people, oh, I've just started this position, and all the comments like, yeah. I've never seen that. I've never seen that environment. Usually work is something very private. You don't put it on Facebook and expect your friends to comment on it.
Yeah.
So this was a very weird social media I've seen now. It's all work focused.
Yeah.
So for that, I can see a lot of people being like, yeah, I need to sign up for this so I can slap it on my LinkedIn and people can praise me for it, right? I could see that. In fact, yesterday I was, just for my own career prospects, I saw a comment about studying for this very quick, like 3-hour course on cybersecurity. I thought, if that was on my CV, that'd be really good. I could do with that. But then I thought, do I really need to do that? Like, do I put that on my LinkedIn? Do I stop celebrating when I pass that? Like, is that something I do? Do I pay money to do that essentially? But it depends. Like, there's also like, okay, another course I was looking at was like the teach English as a foreign language stuff. A lot of brothers do that. I know Sharif does that, for example. My mum's like on me to do that because it would help if I was in Tunisia. Yeah, stuff like that. Because, dude, everyone in Tunisia knows me as that guy from the UK. I could open up a tutoring English school there. So that's like a practical, like, yeah, you know what? If I spent money on this, that'd help. I'd actually have something to use.
Yeah.
But unless you've got like a solid game plan, I don't know.
Obviously, and then but I don't think you need to be passionate. Like, it could be pure money move.
It depends. Like the stuff that's a bit more, I think, vague in its outcome. Like you said about public speaking, or heck, even the stuff that we were talking about last episode, right? About these, I don't know, more employability kind of things, or starting up your own business courses. And now that since that episode, I feel like I've got way more of those adverts from different people, right? But like, compare that to a software. Okay, let's say Adobe Premiere. Heck, I know what Adobe Premiere does. I see the videos, I see the products, I see the end goal of all of that stuff. I think for some of these courses, I only ever see the end goal from the person who's trying to sell it to me, not from other people out the blue that have mentioned it. For example, you know, like, I don't want to take Muslim CEO as an example, but I'll take Muslim CEO example just because of what we spoke about last week. Muslim CEO, the only results I'm going to see are from what Muslim CEO shares on its platform from other people. However, if I was randomly like watching something one day, completely separate, and the dude, the brother, the sister, whoever, really successful, like really, and then they just say, listen, I honestly, I took a course with Muslim CEO, absolutely helped me. I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's completely like
level.
That's impact.
Yes.
You know, that's beyond measure.
Yes.
But when you're getting it just from the person that's obviously trying to sell it, it's a bit too abstract. I can't sink my teeth into that.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that. And I don't know if the public speaking thing is a good example because I don't even know if that would help you with a promotion, right?
It could help you with interviews.
Yeah, like maybe not. Like, I don't know because I haven't been in the work world long enough. Like, in my experience in the work world, it's just like, if you suck up enough and you're compliant enough, you'll probably like just get promoted just from that. But I'm sure there are areas where, yeah, you're right. You have to practically see how this skill or this thing will get me to the next stage. That's when you're going to be able to make that calculation that, okay, I'm going to spend money today, but I can see how it will get me more money later. Yeah, it has to be obviously that direct correlation. Yeah. But I was just saying how people don't seem to think of it like that. The only time I can think of is MBAs. Like, people do MBAs in America. You know, MBA costs a lot of money. You know, whatever, $50K, $100K. Yeah. But they're like, look, I'm going to go do MBA. I'm going to get a big salary boost after that.
Yeah.
So they see it like that. Yeah. Master's degrees in general, in it as well.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, okay, my day job, I coach, tutor, educate, support people into getting a job within my organization. All right. Because I'm part of like a recruitment division. That's what we try and do. Okay. That's the kind of role I kind of do now. However, everything I do, I also see being put out as a premium product, you know, online and third party. Okay. So there's people that run.
So I can
courses.
Go to you for free, by the way.
Yeah. You can come to me for free because that's what I'm obviously funded by my organization trying to do that. However, there's similar premium products out there for the wider public, right?
Specifically to get a job in your place.
Or similar. Similar. Okay. Mine is obviously limited to just mine.
Yes.
But the premium stuff is wherever you want to do this.
Got you.
Now, then I thought, hey, I could literally leave this, what I'm doing now, take all this knowledge I've gathered over these few years, all the resources I've built workshops from scratch, built presentations from scratch. I deliver all this stuff on my own most of the time. You know, groups of 20, 30, 40 people that I just do the course for. I was like, hey, I could literally just do this on my own and charge an arm and a leg for it. And people
do it, bro.
Yeah. I was just thinking I should do this. And then I go on YouTube and there's a guy who does that, who does the very same thing. You know, he's left it as a similar organization to mine. Does it like that. Now, obviously, the difference is there's not always a constant recruitment thing for this organization and that's similar. So it's like, hey, this could dry up in a second. You know, it's not like, hey, do you want to be a data analyst? there's always data analyst jobs. Or do you want to be a software engineer? There's always that. So you could always release a premium thing for that. Do you want to be a whatever? Do you want to start business as a multi-level marketer? Whatever. Everyone wants to do Amazon FBA. There's always that. But first, this is quite niche. So to say that it would always be there, I don't think so. However, it did make me think. People do pay for even specific jobs that don't necessarily require it, but they have some level of assessments to get in. So people might pay minimum just to get some interview training, because a lot of jobs it's just an interview and that's it, you're in. You've got other jobs that have assessment processes, you know, graduate schemes that have processes. You know, I don't know if you've done a graduate scheme sort of application before. I did one before and it was
I
quite
did
grueling.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I could have benefited with a bit of like, hey, here's a heads up.
Ah.
You know, before I was practicing, or was I practicing? I don't remember. I made a dumb move. I'm going to admit this on air right now. I applied for like MI5 or something, right? This was like early days uni or just graduated uni, whatever. I don't think I put two and two together like back then. I was still very fresh in the dean. I didn't realize I was probably like shooting yourself in the foot. Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll say that, yeah, I got offered an invitation to sit some sort of assessment, right? Dude, it was so shady. The reason I think about this is because I was listening to Lex Friedman excerpt of him interviewing some CIA guy, and it kind of just blasted this memory back when I did something similar. Bro, like, I got these really like sketchy like emails, like only first names, no like full name, no contact details. I couldn't reply to it, and it was like very, very vague. Like, yeah, you are. They wouldn't even say what the job was. It was like you're successful in the first stage of your application. Wouldn't even say what the job was. Next stage is on this date at this particular location in London. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to London then. So I go to London and I'm like looking for the signs for this building. I'm like, oh, I must be going to the headquarters or something. No, it's some shady, like random, completely blank building. Didn't even have a sign on it. Yeah. It's like offices. I remember the building was all black, very like brutalist design, in the middle of like bank or something, like some very high end area. And I'm like expecting to find someone at the door, someone to greet me, the receptionist, nothing. Okay. Like, honestly. And I'm like, looking, everyone's wearing suits and stuff. And I'm like, is he here for the same? I can't tell who's here for the same thing. But because it's MI5, you're like, do I even talk to these people? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, let's keep it out of that. And I remember like going, anyway, it's like I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, do I even take a picture of this building? I don't even know what's going to happen to me right now. And my memory's a bit spotty. But eventually I found myself in basically a room full of desks, right? The people that were there didn't even introduce themselves to us. They just started talking. It's not like, hi, my name's so-and-so. Listen, this is what you're going to do today. They didn't even give us instructions, bro. The instructions, so what they did, they said, it's like, we're going to give you some, in this pack, there's some information. You need to write a report. Okay. So they give me a pack, bro. And it's like this thick, right? And it's full of just random things. A transcript of CCTV, a transcript of a phone conversation, a transcript of this and a transcript of that, and a news article of this, and they're all different dates and different. You know what I mean? All different stuff. Okay. And then it says write a report. Yeah. I don't know what the objective is. Yeah. Do I try and solve this mystery of a crime or what's happened, and it was all like, from what I can remember, it was all like. I think it was some sort of terrorism thing, maybe. It was like different excerpts of like scenarios of like this guy's phone's been tapped, and this is what they've said, and this news article says this, and there's been this missing shipment of this, and there was so many different things, and all the data in different times, and I'm like, am I trying to basically write a chronological event of what's happened here, or am I trying to suss out who is a likely suspect for this particular thing that happened on this? Dude, it was all the names are different, bro.
How long did
I looked
you have?
up. I can't remember. Must have been a couple of hours. I looked up, bro, and like at first everyone was kind of like looking up as well, looking at me and stuff. But then like 20 minutes in, I realized like everyone's furiously writing as if they knew what they were doing, and I'm like, heck, if I had a course right now, I would have known what's going on. I have no idea what this is. Safe to say, yeah, I absolutely probably failed that. I don't remember what the feedback, if I got any, but So that's a little story that I forgot even I did. But I did do, and alhamdulillah, I didn't do it. But yeah, bro. So that's, I don't even know what the point of my story there was. Oh yeah, it's just having that preparation, that insight prior to doing something like that would have gone like a million miles. I would have known a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. Like whenever you're doing something new, you might as well learn how to do that thing, and especially if it's like high stakes, like you've got one chance to impress. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, a lot of du'at and stuff that went on TV and got hammered. Like they could have done with some media training and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even like even stepping up to the plate in your organization, if you wanted to like try and show your skill set and stuff, if you really were about climbing the ladder in this place, do you know what I mean? Like I could see, I mean, people do that at work all the time. I spoke to you before we went on live about colleagues that do that. Like their entire reason for doing anything that is framed as for the benefit of the organization and our customers and all this stuff is actually just to get a promotion. That's all it is. It's all self-centered, and I've for the first time in a long time, I've started to realize that it's just about climbing it. Do you know what I mean? Like before, you could probably be convinced in people's genuine desire to improve everything or whatever. Nah, it's just promotion. That's all it is. They want something to put on their board meetings, so that when they go for a promotion, they can say, look, I did this, I did that. Especially now with social media, everything they do has to be posted, even at work, even work stuff.
So this is what LinkedIn is like, yeah?
100%. Because then you could go, look at my LinkedIn profile, look at all the stuff I do, look at all the people I engage with, look at the customers I deal with.
It's a portfolio, yeah.
It's a portfolio.
That's good, yeah, interesting.
I
mean, it's all fake, obviously. And that's why I can't hack it. I can't do it. Like me, I probably said it on the podcast before, when I got my first proper job, like office job kind of thing, I was so naive. I was like, look, I'm top performer. I'm gonna get sick results. I'm gonna like make them loads of money. They're paying me X. I'm gonna make them X times 10 back, right? I'm gonna make them loads of money. I'm gonna be a top performer. Heck, I even spend from my own salary to do courses to improve my skills. Yeah. This was my thinking. When I got there, it's like everyone's rubbish at what they do. And everyone's just trying to like make sure that they joke enough with the manager to like not get fired, do minimum level of work. And I hate that, bro. I could work in a place where it's all high performers. Like, yes. You know, that kind of sales vibe where it's like, look, you're making 10K today or we're firing you. I'm up for that, yeah? I like high performance stuff. But all the probably 90% of the jobs out there, I would get so frustrated because I want to come and work hard and like get results and all that. I want that. I like that. I'm not the one where I'll come in and the minimum I can get away with, I want to do that, and then I'll go home like with a bit more energy so I can like watch more Netflix. Or I'm not into that.
It depends on the environment. Like when there isn't real passion there, you don't have the passion then to if you go into an environment and there isn't actual genuine passion there, and actually no one really cares about what's going on, not even
which is often the case, right?
And you can cut right through the crap, so to speak, because you know it's just for promotions. You know they're not really behind this, right? And the shadiness, and you know they're also slacking. And actually, half the delegation that they're giving to you is so they can stay out of the radar, and they don't get shouted at as well. Absolutely. It's like, well, why should I bother? Yeah, I've absolutely switched off. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen that. It's called quiet quitting, they call it. I mean, it's a stupid thing. Yeah. It's stupid. Only doing what you're... Yeah, of course I should only do what I'm responsible for. Because if I do more than that, I'm not getting paid any extra. That's the mistake I made when I was working in Clark's, bro. I was a stock assistant, right? Getting paid normal wage. There was a team leader, a stock team leader. I'll never forget this because it taught me a valuable lesson. Stock team leader. He left, right? A lot of people left. We were a team of 5 people in the stock room. And then it went down to like 3, and then down to 2, me and the team leader. Then the team leader left, it was just me. And I was like, okay, they're going to hire more people soon. So started getting more people to come up part-time and stuff. I'm like, hey, who's going to do all the team leader responsibilities? Who's going to do all the stock management, the delivery stuff, all of the stuff that you can imagine the team leader would have to do? I'll have to start doing it. So they start telling me, I was like, listen, I'll do it. They start telling me to do it. I was like, okay, cool. As soon as you advertise that team leader position, I'm going to apply for it. Yeah, of course. But because I ended up doing all the stuff anyway...
They never hired one.
They never opened up for one because they realized, why do we need a team leader when he's doing it all on his normal wage anyway?
Yeah.
Right? So I switched off. off, bro.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, bro. I started going into work in my tracksuit bottoms, like holes in my shoes. Like I didn't care anymore. Absolutely did not care. Lost all motivation. I remember
Yeah.
them having a meeting with me saying like, what's going on? Like you don't talk to anyone anymore. You don't say hello anymore. I used to just do my entire shift with headphones in, listening to podcasts. Because I didn't need to speak to anyone. I wasn't customer service. We had an iPad. We used to have a radio where they would call up for a shoe and I would say, okay, I've got it. Yeah, it's coming down now. And I'd send it down the chute. But then it turned into iPads where they would literally just ping up like a notification. They want this shoe in this size. So I stopped having to talk to anyone. I didn't need to talk to anyone anymore.
Perfect job.
Yeah, bro. So the shoes would come up, the ones that the customers have tried and they didn't want, they would come back up the lift. I would put them back, right? I'd put them back in the shoe shelf, and then any new ones, I'd send them down. But on busy days, you can imagine, I'm running back and forth, getting them, and then the lift comes up, take them away. Whilst I'm trying to put ones away and lifting stock and putting stuff away, I'm getting requests for shoes. So I was on my feet non-stop, headphones in, not talking to anyone. But like I was grumpy. And yeah, because I put in like 4.5 or 4 years into that place, and I was doing more than I needed to do, more than my duty, didn't get rewarded for it. So I quit. I'm outie.
Is that how all shoe things work?
I don't know. I've only worked there. But I will say, though, it's a lesson about not doing more than you need to. Because when I went back there recently to get some shoes for my son, some old staff members were still there. And I was like, hey, you know, who's up in the stock team nowadays? Like, oh, yeah, we don't have one. The shop floor staff go up and get their own shoes now. It was just cost cutting. That's what it was. So, yeah, they realized when I left, they obviously must have had a period of time where people were just having to do without me because I was the last person there. And then they thought, heck, we're just going to stay like this because we can more burden on the staff members, but more money in their pockets as an organization.
Yeah, that's why if you're someone who gives it like 100%, even 110, 120%, I think you need to work for like a startup, innit? That's why people go to startups, because there's 10 people with a big vision. You work directly next to the founder or whatever. And if you put in 120%, you're going to see the results because there's only 10 of you and all that.
Well, I think you also need a level of negotiation skills as well, don't you? So what I would say, now that I've learned from that, if I could go back in time, I would say to my boss, hey, listen, team leader's obviously left. All right, let's say it's called Emin. Emin's left. Obviously, you haven't got anyone. For this week, I'm going to try and cover his stuff. All right, I'm just going to show you that I can do it. I'm going to cover his stuff. And I'll do it for that week. And I'll do it very well for that week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever. And then I'll say, but listen, I'm only doing this for this week and I'm going to stop doing it until, you know, until I get the team leader position. That's how I would say it.
Yeah.
Until I get the team leader position. I just want to show you I can do it. Until I get the position, then, you know, and you have to be ready to just stop.
But that's the thing, those kind of jobs, you know, I don't know if that's equivalent to like McDonald's or whatever, but those kind of jobs, they hire the uneducated, the low confidence, the young people, but I think they'll never do that.
You could copy that elsewhere, though. You could copy that in other as long as you're in a. If you look, I'm talking about defined responsibilities that are like contractual. All right. For example, like, you know, you need a certain level of qualifications or whatever to deal with payroll. You need a certain level of responsibility to deal with
and trust,
HR stuff and trust. Yeah. So, you know, you could offer to step up and take over someone when they're not there or whatever, but make it known you're not doing this permanently. You're doing it to prove a point that you can do it. Because then at least when you're doing the interview, be like, listen, I did it for a week. Look how it turned out.
You got leverage, innit?
You got leverage.
I just remembered, you know, the job in which, like that first office job that I got fired from, I remember now the manager, my manager, he knew nothing much about marketing. We're in the marketing team. Yeah. He knew nothing much about it. He was not in the office, I would say, a good 50% of the time. He was not there, and the excuse is like, oh, I had to have a meeting with this external thing. And obviously, he had a 1 hour meeting, and then he had a 2 hour coffee and whatever, chill, you know. He's always talking about how, he went to, you know, last night he was at this bar and this, that, out late. So, of course, they come to the office at 11 and stuff like that. So anyway, we all knew he's like a loser, and he just was close with the CEO and this and that. So that's why he's there, kind of thing, I got fired. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. There were, out of 6 of us, I would say there were 2 who knew what we were doing. Yeah, like specialists in a certain skill in marketing, and we're like doing it. Yeah, me and one other guy. Everyone else was like kind of kind of like amateur or like not bothered.
Yeah.
I got fired. Everyone else stayed. I got fired. I found out, a month or two later, he actually got fired. The manager got fired later, because he must have taken that whole thing too far, innit? Like thinking he could just suck up to the boss and like not come in, not do work. He was always the guy like putting it on the junior people to get stuff done. The people who didn't have as much backbone.
Right.
Like, do this. Why aren't you doing that? So it's that typical thing, bro. But I could work at a startup if it's like I'm given that responsibility, that freedom, like.
Yeah.
But now that boat has sailed, probably because all that hard work I would put in for a startup, I probably think, well, I could start a company myself.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So,
yeah, that's my biggest fear is like trying to escape this and ending up with the same issue again somewhere else, because the issue wasn't fundamentally the job, it was jobs in general. Do you understand what I mean? Like, my wife's always said to me, actually, my issue actually isn't the particular job I'm doing. It's more being told what to do. It's that common thing of, oh, you got a boss and you're a slave to your 9 to 5 and you're blah, 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 blah. Like, I could see this happening, and it seems to be a 4-year thing for me. I've noticed I've got this thing where I haven't stayed anywhere more than 4 years. As soon as it hits the 4-year mark, I just go straight down the bottom of that hole, and I don't know why, but it seems to be the case.
There's a lot of talk about, Yanni, I don't know if it's so much our generation and younger. It's like they don't stay in jobs. Actually, the average is like less than 4 years, I think. Yeah.
No, 100%.
Some people have rigged the game where they realize that if they change jobs every like 1-2 years, they every time they get a new job, they negotiate a higher salary, and that's the shortcut to increasing your salary.
Oh yeah. Someone called me today, bro. Some recruiter, I must have my CV somewhere, called me today, offering me a job, some sort of sales job.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And they already knew kind of what I was doing and stuff because of my CV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they said, oh, this is where it is. To be honest, I wasn't going to do it anyway. It's like financial sales, like financial analyst sales or something like that. I don't know. I don't have any finance in my history. I'm not even going to go there with And then plus, when I hear finance, I just get put off. I think, riba alert, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want anything to do with that. But yeah, I was like, yeah, sure. Well, go on then. Where is it? Oh, it's quite close to me. This is it. It's an award-winning company. Blah blah blah. Trying to sell it to me. Yeah. And then they were like, yeah. So they're offering. I won't say what they were offering. They're offering a particular amount a year plus commission and stuff. And I was like, I am not like. You want me to take a £10,000 pay cut? Like, I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing
that. Commission could be nice, no?
Yeah, if you make this out, I've never really done anything like that to have the confidence that I'm going to have that kind of level. I have thought a lot about recruitment. I've like recruitment consultancy and stuff like that. There's so much of that. It's literally everywhere. It's all I find. It's all that gets advertised to me. And I remember thinking about it prior. I've done a lot of recruitment work now. Like, I've got recruitment experience, like I said. So it's like, oh, do I? And I know a couple of people that do that. The only issue I have with that, again, and someone can correct me, maybe you might know, is like, my client might be like a beer company. Do you know what I mean? Here's your portfolio of clients that you need to hire for. Here's a beer company, here's a casino, and here's a... Just what I'm trying to say, like... And then I'm like, oh, sorry, boss, I can't do this one. Can you give me another one? No, that's your portfolio, that's what you're doing. I can't, boss, I can't, I don't, my religion, I can't...
Fire.
Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Waste of space.
Find someone else like that.
No, but you have recruitment companies that are agencies that specialize in fields, innit?
Yeah. That's what I've found. Yeah, I know, like, one of the people I know
medical and this and that.
Medical. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, maybe I could do that. So I'm looking into it.
I have a friend who has a recruitment company. He's in like the most lucrative one, which is oil and gas. He does oil and gas in like Central Asia, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But those contracts are juicy. I heard even he was doing he's recruiting doctors for Saudi, and just his cut is like lovely.
Yeah. Thing is, I I am quite like I'm growing steadily more interested in doing that, because these 2 years where I've been doing recruitment work, I think I'm good at it. Like, I'm good with people. I can talk to them. I can train them. I can get them ready. I can get them what they need. I can do that kind of stakeholder management. This is how many I've got. And I've been managing a portfolio of candidates. Like, I do that all the time. I've got 50 at the moment that are under me. So I could do that. What I think might be the special key to just get that motivation going is that commission, bro. Because now, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you put in, no matter how energetic you wake up in the morning and what good day you have, you're still coming home with the same amount of money every single. You know what I mean?
Have you like researched that and see if anyone offers that? Does it exist in the industry? Yeah.
My one, or in general?
In recruitment.
Oh yeah, recruitment, 100%. Most of them are commission based.
Yeah, good.
Most of them I've seen are like they've got this flat salary, and then there's commission on top. A lot of the flats are lower than what I've got. Some of them are around the same. Some of them there mention of more and commission as well.
You got to do the maths in it based on what you know about your skills and stuff. Would you make more? But also, you'd probably be more into it as well.
Well, this is it. I feel like I'd be like more of a drive, especially when you've got things that you need, you know, just to make more money. Because at the end of the day, like I feel I've always envied, you know, in a halal way, this energy that people have. That, like, look at Pure XI, for example. You're motivated to make it succeed because you know the more effort you put in, fundamentally, it's probably the more you're going to get out.
Yeah.
You know, or with anything. You know, you own your own business. You sell fruit and veg at a market. You know, the more that you engage with people, you try and show off that your fruit's the best. You know, the more you're going to get home at the end of the day. The more you put in, the more you get out. The harder you lift the weights, the more you're going to lift, the stronger you're going to get. But at most jobs, you don't have those bonuses, you don't have those rewards. Heck, you don't even have a well done. You know, I work all day for like doing a massive project, and all I get is criticism at the end of it. I must admit, yesterday or the day before, I worked my butt off trying to sort out this very detailed, immaculate, perfect presentation. Send it over, boom, boom, boom. You know what response I got? Yeah, it's too big. I couldn't open it. This doesn't work. I was like, well, it works for me. I've just opened it.
That's awful, man.
It works for me. I just opened it.
Yeah.
No. I got an issue with my email. So yeah, I can't. And then I did it and I performed it. Nothing.
It's probably rubbish anyway. Bro, I can't open it, but it's rubbish.
Yeah. I mean, I'm that guy who wants validation, bro. I see a lot of my father in my bosses.
Bro, let me hire you, bro.
Come on, bro.
I like you.
100 and whatever episodes later, and finally, Muslim CEO have noticed. They got their star candidate right in front of them.
No, I'm a bit spoiled with cheap staff, you know.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna invite you to one of my workshops, and you're gonna see, bro. You're gonna see the real me. You're gonna see the microphone. You're gonna see the education coming through. You're gonna see this vernacular that I'm speaking with. I mean, I've got the evidence. You want to sit down with a meeting with me, one-to-one, interview me? I'll just play the podcast, bro. But watch this.
You know, actually, when we started the podcast, my view was always like, you're the more, how do we say it, charismatic. No, actually, it's true, it's factual. Yeah, you're more charismatic than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better with people. You're more charismatic. Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
No doubt.
You know, I got interviewed by a radio channel. Let's just say that, because I haven't even heard it.
Okay.
A very, very big radio channel in the UK. One of the biggest. Mainstream. One of the biggest.
BBC, One Extra.
I won't even say.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say. Yeah. And it was on the spot. I didn't even know. The dude was there.
And you got the voice for it as well, innit? And the microphone.
Dude, I walked, it was in a work setting, and I just walked up to, my boss was talking to this person, and they're like, oh, do you mind if you join us and come and talk in this thing? And then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll answer a few questions. Didn't know who he was, so he was just some dude. And then he goes, do you mind if I record this for my thing? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then then he started asking me questions. Bro, my man was interviewing me.
Yeah.
And I was just talking, bro. Mind heist mode talking. I was talking
yeah.
on the spot, asking me all these difficult questions, but I didn't really have a problem. I was just answering them.
Yeah.
And then, bro, after he finished, he's like, oh, thanks for that. By the way, anyone tell you, you've got really good, like, media, have you had any media training? And I was like, I didn't want to say a podcast, but I was like, no, I was just, I just did what I did.
You always got to hide the podcast, yeah.
Bro, afterwards, I was like, by the way, like, I don't want to offend you. Who are you? And what was that for? Because I thought you were just some dude. He's like, oh, no, I'm from such and such radio, such and such. I was like, oh, sweet, okay. And then even recently, I had an I did a live workshop for someone. In there was a teacher who used to be a Radio 1 Extra or BBC 1 Extra or something like that. He's well known. He was called Jack the Lad. I don't know. Look him
Okay.
up. I don't know. He's apparently well known. Jack the Lad.
Not heard of Jack the Lad.
Radio. Oh, Heart Radio.
British
There it
folk
is.
rock group.
Jack the Lad.
Oh.
I just put Jack the Lad Radio, and apparently he's from Heart Radio, which is quite
radio.
popular.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like some DJ. Anyway, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not going to praise myself, but that's the same thing. He said the same thing. I should do media. I should do stuff like that. So that's why we're in
You
the
are
Mind
in
Heist
media,
podcast.
just not getting paid.
No, well, sometimes.
Yeah.
You can sponsor the Mind Heist podcast at mindheistpodcast.com. We've got a brand new website. I love. It's just.
I like that website. It's very minimal. It is just, you could spend 100 hours working on a website and it wouldn't be any better than the one we've got in terms of function and just like
Well,
looking
have you seen
clean
that?
and.
Seen that advert that gets popped up recently? My algorithm throws it to me. It's like, if your website is slow, it might as well be broken. And they basically try and speed up your website for you. But yeah,
Okay.
100%. Go on mindheistpodcast.com. Boom. Easy peasy. Do you want to know more about the podcast? There it is. YouTube, Spotify. Oh, we've got a little. Oh yeah, we do have an Apple podcast thing over there.
Bro,
And
let
we've
me
got the
tell you
groups.
something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, go on. Tell me.
In the spirit of being more open.
With these. Yeah,
In
go
the
on.
spirit of being more open. I was talking about I like high performance, yeah?
Yeah.
I like that for myself, but I'm quite into it in general.
Uh-huh.
So I do watch football and I love it for that element. I think that's why I like football. Because when I see the levels these people go to, the little tweaks, the optimizations, the attitude even, yeah? The attitude some of these players have, I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I analyze the body language, the way that the attitude they have, Some of the players, they are such high performers. They have such an attitude of like performance that they scream at their teammates because, oh, you could have passed it that way. And then we could they want to win that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on an ego one, just like, I know I could have done it. If you did that, we could have. I love it, bro. Like, that's why probably the top guy for this is like Ronaldo, isn't he? Like, he's obsessed with performance as well. So yeah, I love this stuff, bro. And football is, I'm sure, actually probably American sports are even more because, like the NBA and stuff, they're obsessed with all the data around the players' movements.
Yeah.
They use AI to predict if they're going to get injured and all that. I mean, they do that in football as well, but it's sick.
There's two things though, isn't there? There's the aspect of trying to leave a legacy. Okay, that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah,
they strive for that.
Trying to live
but
forever.
also, there's also the financial incentive. Yeah, you score those goals, you get that paycheck. That's ultimately your price goes up.
But
There's
you
a value.
think? Okay, I get that. Like over a period of time, if you score, if you're on the top whatever scorers, then you're gonna your price will go up in terms of what you're valued at and how you're seen, status and all that. But a lot of these, like the strikers, they get paid a bonus if they exceed X goals, right?
Yeah.
In a season or whatever. Do you think they really care about that, right? They're on let's say they're on 200K a week. Will an extra whatever, 100K, a few 100K or a million or whatever, would that move the needle, Yanni?
We'd have to interview one, but I do think I would be surprised if it didn't, because it's entwined with leaving a legacy. Okay, because not only do you leave a legacy in the sense of your name, but you leave things behind for those that you love. You can purchase things. You can set your family up forever.
But what's the difference between 10 and 12 million, though?
Oh, it's a difference between 10 and 20 pounds in your pocket. That's the difference.
It's not the same.
It is to me.
Because once you have about 10 million pounds, you're kind of sorted.
I don't know. People still go to work. People have 10 million and still get up and go to work.
Yeah, maybe not for money per se, though.
But then
some
what?
people see money as a score counter for success and performance and
Isn't there a narration about a son of Adam who had a mountain of gold and he'd still want another one?
I mean, yes.
So I think inherently it's in their nature, and that's why I always say if I had £10, I'd want 20. And
But the
if I had
question
100,
is,
I want...
you're right. There is that hadith, but why do they want the other mountain of gold? Is it to be richer? Is it to leave more money to family, or is it to feel sicker about yourself, to
maybe
feel you reached higher heights?
But if they still want the gold, it's still the incentive.
No, because
you
the
know?
gold, maybe you could say the gold is the money-wise, it's the score counter, right? It's the 5-0. I beat them 5-0 versus 1-0.
Yeah, there is.
You know?
There is that. I'm not saying there isn't. That's why I said partly is to leave a legacy. But I'd be interested to see if there was a price cap on players.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that aren't so famous. Because look, okay,
for them it will
Messis,
make a bigger difference.
For Messi and for Ronaldo. Like for Ronaldo, you know, he's it's the love of the game. I don't know much about football, but I'm assuming from what I can see of him, it's the love of the game, okay? And it's, you know, that feeling he gets when he's on the pitch, and he's very passionate when he's not doing well. I see him shouting at his teammates and all of that sort of stuff. But also, one could even argue, now that he's on top, it's about staying on top, you know? And if and when he starts kind of deteriorating, then how does he act? You know, is he humble? Does he humble himself? Say, yeah.
Well, then he has to go and conquer like golf or something.
Or he could just become a coach and, you know, manage a team or whatever. That's what they do, and then his team has to win.
Tricky. Yeah. No, that's a whole other game, isn't it? But I'm sure whatever he puts his mind to, he'll probably be good at it, because he's so obsessed with just performing.
Of course.
I love it, bro. It's sick to see the level that humans can get to in terms of like hard work, focus, optimization, tunnel vision.
I do still think that maybe we do live in a weird world where there is less incentives to work harder. I think people aren't rewarded for the hard work that they put in and not incentivized to work harder.
You mean average people in jobs like that?
Average people in jobs, yeah. I feel like in history,
obviously,
most jobs historically, this is just an absolute assumption, but when I break it down to like simpler times in my head, I'm thinking, dude, even if I was like a farmer working on someone's farm, if I like put in work, I feel like my boss would reward me. Do you know what I mean? Because I did him a favor. For example, unless I was like literally slave labor. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If I was like a worker for someone and I like, boss, I did everything twice the speed. Dude, have the rest of the day off. Actually, take a bucket of milk with you. Take it over to your family.
Your payment would probably be just basic food and shelter anyway.
Well,
you think you're getting more on top of that?
Okay,
that's enough.
Any other job though, even menial jobs, bro, there's levels of reward. I think it's more there were more opportunities to just be rewarded in general. Well, when you're contractually
I'll tell you something,
salary,
I'll throw a wrench into your machine, into your engine. What's the thing?
Yeah, spanner in the works.
Spanner in the work. So, research suggests that people are not motivated by money. Right, when it comes to the workplace, they're not really motivated by that, especially beyond a certain basic level of income. They're actually not. They're more motivated by having a say in work, you know, having some freedom and responsibility to do it their way. That's really what drives them, having a feeling of like belonging, like ownership of the job or the business or the department.
Yeah.
That's what drives them more than money.
Well, I have a question for you now that you bring this up. What's with advertisers not putting the salary on? Is that just because of the negotiation aspect? They don't put the salary on their adverts. Like, what the hell is wrong with that? What is that culture? I'm applying for a job. I want to know what you're getting paid me. What's the point? I haven't got all the time in the world to fill out this massive long application just to find out it's peanuts.
I guess assuming that, look, it's probably like this, yeah? If the job is in the role is the very limited supply of that type of person, yes? Okay. I would assume they'll put the amount, yeah? Because A, they kind of need to sell it more to you, and B, they're probably going to offer a high amount because there's low supply, yes? Okay. But as soon as there's one position and they're going to get hundreds of applicants, it's like, you do the work. You go and research the average salary for that position and think about what you would like, and then come to the interview. But
it takes 2 seconds, and also it saves them time. It saves me time.
Okay, but I might get 500 applicants if I don't put the salary. Yes. Yeah. As soon as I put the salary, I'll probably have 300 applicants. I want
Why do you
more
want
to choose
500
from.
though?
I want more to choose from to pick the best.
But you're not going to choose anyone. Like, you're wasting your time. If you find someone you like, you choose them, and they're like, no, this isn't the salary I want at all.
Yeah, but
Do you
I've
know
got
what I mean?
another 20 or whatever, 50 that I'm interviewing.
But then you've just wasted time, and then that time is money. Whilst actually,
I don't
you
know
could
if I wasted
effectively-
time. Like, I mean, there are like AI tools to analyze different CVs and shortlist people and stuff. But even
Yeah,
without
but
that,
still.
I can actually put all those applications into a spreadsheet, and I think it's quite time efficient to sort. I'm talking about like a few hundred. Obviously, some jobs get tens of thousands of applications, but I think you'll just get more. What do they call it? Not deal flow, but more applicant flow by not mentioning the salary. Because then people will self-select and they'll say, well, I don't want that amount, so therefore I'm not applying.
I think mentioning the salary saves everybody time. I think I've dealt with it where even in my recruitment experience, people haven't read it. People haven't read the advert. The salary's on there. They haven't read it. And then they're like, oh, we go through everything. We're at the last few stages and we're flipping spent so much time with them and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't realize it's that much. Oh, that's a big cut. I can't do that. Or I didn't realize I needed a manual driving license. I can't do that. I didn't realize I have to work shifts. I can't do that. I've just spent all this time and energy. It said it all in there. So imagine if it didn't say it in there. Imagine salary, which is what people actually go to work for, because heck, 90% of these jobs, nobody's doing it for free. If it didn't say it on there, and then they flip and do all of this stuff, and then right at the end, it's like, here's your contract. Do you want to sign it? By the way, here's your salary. No, oh, sorry, no, I can't take that. That's too much. It's a waste of everybody's time. It's not like applications are just, here's a CV and go on your way. If it was that, I wouldn't argue so much. But I literally have to take a whole hour, 2 hours out just to focus on trying to do a decent application for something.
I mean, in that scenario, you both lost out fully.
And that's the problem. And it's a culture thing. It's not a...
I'll tell you, though, a real thing. Because I'm going to hire someone now,
Put the salary on.
I'm not going to put a salary.
Heck,
obviously, I'm not putting it out there like that. I'm just asking around and this and that. But no way I'm putting the salary. Because...
No, you better put it on.
No, but I'll tell you the logic, my just basic logic. Let's say, let's just make it simple, Let's say I'm willing to pay £100, But I could maybe I could find someone that will take £60. So what number do I put?
Yeah, I get the negotiation aspect. And there's also another element as well, which I'll add on top of that as a layer. If I'm hiring for a data analyst, okay, I've already got 3 data analysts that work for me.
Yeah.
They all actually get paid different wages because of their negotiation. They don't know how much they're getting paid. If I start putting a price on this one, right, the new one coming in might be like, the other 3 might be like, you're getting paid nothing. You know that. You're getting paid nothing compared to us. Or if they're getting paid more, they'll be like, hey, how come he gets paid more? He only just started.
Yes.
Right? And actually, there's also
So you know the answer to your question.
I know that. Then there's a culture in the UK as well of like not discussing wages and money and all this stuff because actually there's an inequality in different things and whatever. There's people that do less than me or the same job as me that get paid way more than me. Right? I know that for a fact.
Now, why is that negotiation?
It's just about how long they've been in there, what type of contract they had prior. Contracts change and things change and whatever. But no, I can see in a different private sector as well, like, you're going to have negotiations. You're going to have different, like, what can you bring to the board table?
What kind of gap could there be? Like, just based on my negotiation, same job, same, experience.
I mean, they always have, look, so what, instead of the ones that do say salary, they don't just say a flat number. They have a scale.
Range,
They have a range. So all the jobs that we advertise have a range, most of them. Well, a lot.
And the
of them.
range could be like 10K more.
Exactly. So all the ones I've seen recently are 10K. And then there's always this little little small print that says, salary is usually at the bottom of the pay scale based on experience. Right. Which is basically saying we're going to push for the bottom 100%. So let's say 20 to 30. The 30 is there to incentivize you. The 20 is there for us to actually offer you. Unless your experience is so bad and so good that we really, really want you, then you could probably argue your way to the top. Heck, when I applied for the role that I'm in now, I remember my boss actually telling me recently, like, was it 50? I think 50 candidates applied for my position.
Yeah.
of which they were all a good solid 50, and I, beat them to the race, so to speak, with interviews. I've never had an interview. What is that?
Motorbike.
I thought someone was like trying to break into your house. I've never had an interview. I failed, alhamdulillah. But if I was able to negotiate, I think I probably could have negotiated back then, because they were literally calling me beyond what they needed to do. Like, I was getting calls about, like, have you thought about it? What are you going to do? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Let's like, they were trying to accommodate for me and all this
That's
stuff.
a sign to ask for a 5K.
But I couldn't because of the way that work's set out. Anyway, it's been interesting. I just wanted to, because you're the guy, the CEO of Muslims. Could you imagine? Hey guys, it's Amin here. I'm the CEO of Muslims, and I want to tell you,
General Manager of Muslims,
how to negotiate. The real question on everybody's mind is how to get that bonus. Right, look, we've been going on for a while. Let me ask you one final question, because I've been talking non-stop. The levels on this podcast are all going to be whatever color is assigned to me, like it usually is.
Probably, yeah.
I'm going to ask
in a
you
good
one
way.
of these.
But you sound crispy today.
I'm trying my best. Last week we said we were going to do these cards and we didn't, because you've avoided being open and vulnerable again. So I'm going to ask you one question that I'm not going to answer because we haven't got time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what Amin can share. If it's not a good one, I'm not bothering. Easy one. I'll give this to you. What are you most thankful to Allah for this week?
It's too easy. Next.
Just proving my point. You want something more vulnerable? You really want to open the
go
can
on.
What did I say before?
Challenge accepted. Can of eggs, yeah.
Who makes you feel safe?
Okay, this is better, bro. This is better.
Who makes you feel safe? Let me raise my levels while I say this. Who makes you feel safe?
It makes me feel safe. Look, bro.
Your wife is listening to this right now and she's getting frustrated that you haven't mentioned it to her. That's it. I know ladies. I know what they're like, bro.
Do you think that's like a... This is going to sound bad, yeah? But look, I'm raw. We're both raw, actually, on this podcast.
Really?
Do you think I'm like... I can see, actually, like, the Prophet ﷺ went to Khadija for... Was that to feel safe, though? I don't know. But anyway... I just thought maybe a lot of men wouldn't say their wife is the first person for that question.
Come on.
I don't know. I think
just say
it must be my dad.
SubhanAllah. That's good. That's a good answer.
No, but when I say my dad, the only person that I can think of possibly that would make me feel safe, would be my dad. Like my dad's number one. There is no number two. Like, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah. That's always been the case for you, no doubt, as a son. Your father will always be.
But also, when I think of times where I've been really like overwhelmed and this and that, very difficult times, whatever. My dad was not there, physically with me, and when I'm not living with my dad, I don't tend to talk to my dad much. Yeah. So it was Allah, like, fully at that time, and وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ, basically. Yani, Allah is a very good companion in those times. But just in order to be vulnerable a bit and not give a cliche answer, I'll say my dad.
Yeah. Although, do you know what I think? I'm glad you said that, because I obviously lost my dad. I didn't realize how safe him being around made me feel until I lost him. Because it was also the safety of knowing that a certain level of responsibility in my family was taken care of, right? Like, my dad was in Tunisia, so I knew he could take care of that. I'll try and take care of what we've got here, and I felt safe knowing that. Now that my dad's not here, I cannot go 5 minutes without, and even though, like, maybe my family don't know that I do this, maybe my family don't think that I think about them, but I can't go more than 5 minutes without thinking, oh my God, like, I need to try and sort out my gran and my auntie in Tunisia. I need to sort out this thing in Tunisia. I need to go and do this in Tunisia, but I'm over here. How am I going to do that? I'm over here. I don't feel very safe over there, in the sense, like, I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 all this stuff. And, like, trying to be there for everyone is different when you're the only man now left, so to speak. So, yeah, 100%. no doubt. You will not realize you don't know how much your father as a man takes care of everything until he's gone. Like, you don't know how much, my wife, I remember she said it about me. Like, we did a bit of a thought experiment. You see a lot of women that are like, oh, independent, I can do it, I can take care, I can do this. And I'm sure you could do the same thought experiment with your family. Like, imagine if I wasn't here. Okay, what's the first thing you do? Right. What do you do with the money? Where do you pay the rent? Do you understand? Like, how do you do it? Let's talk it out. If I was to die tomorrow, what's the first thing you need to do? And then you start breaking things down. Then you realize, actually, heck, I don't know, because you take care of a lot. You take care of a lot of me. I'm sure you do. I take care of loads of stuff. I'm sure I do. Can you survive with the rest of that? Not knowing, etc. Now, I know obviously some dynamics of families are different, and they split things a lot more or whatever. I don't know. The roles of the man isn't clearly defined. But no, safety is also having that security in your home, having things just get done. In the same way that, like, the house just keeps itself clean here. But it's not that.
It's actually a type of fairy that does it.
Yeah, it's like, remember that? Do you see that sketch that was it Australian? He's like, darling, come here. There's this magic table, and he's talking about this magic table to his wife. He's like, look, this magic table, I promise you, I kid you not, look, I put stuff here, I leave it here, I come back tomorrow, it's not here. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, really? He's like, look, I'll do it right now. And he makes a massive mess, and he's like, I promise you, it's going to disappear tomorrow.
Or was that an ad or something?
It was like an advert for something, and it was obviously about. It was pretty good. It's obviously about his missus is the one that's cleaning up, but he just couldn't understand because he doesn't see her do it.
Yeah.
But okay, should we do another one before? I don't mind going forever, to be fair, but I know people won't listen to 100 hours.
Bro, it's 5 minutes to midnight.
Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful time.
I'm not saying that to stop. It's just, it is late, but we'll do a couple. Go on.
We could always edit the pod.
No, I'm gonna cut out a good half an hour
of the socks.
Something like that. Yeah, sorry.
There's a lot of waffle. Can you imagine now that you cut out the bit about socks, and now they're curious? What was that bit about socks? So we can release it as a bonus segment on Patreon. Would you say that you are the same person in private as you are in public? I seem to be pulling all the ones that my wife pulled out the other day, even though I'm doing it randomly. Oh, I can't see that.
Public and private. Well, yes and no, because obviously, like, publicly, as you always say, I don't share a lot. So people are obviously going to think of me different in what they know of me versus how I'm like. But in terms of the general, my general persona, the general, if people were to summarize me in 3, 4, 5 words, I guess that stuff would be the same in private. Yes. But stuff like how serious I am or how this or that, I think that kind of is reflected in reality. Allahu A'lam. What about you?
It depends what you define as public, isn't it? Like, you on this podcast, this is the most public I see you because I don't see you outside of it. You are the same as when I remember, chilling with you in person. When I answered this to my wife, I said, yeah, of course I am. Putting the podcast in my head, thinking that's my public side.
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, but you're not like that at work.
Yes.
You're not. And I was like, oh, yeah, when you put it that way. And she goes, you're not like that when you're out in person anyway. I was like, yeah, actually, when you put it that way.
That's your alternative persona, Mohammed.
That's Mohammed. So you're right. No one calls me Mohammed. Unless I'm at work, my family don't. I've got other names for myself. So like, I don't talk to people at work. I don't talk to them if I don't have to. And I'm not making small talk for no reason.
I struggle with that.
Why? Struggle to make small talk or struggle?
Yeah, I really struggle with small talk, and I guess that means you could say my public-private is close, because I can't. Like, when I used to do, for example, sales calls for the business, I can't do the small talk. I just want to get into it, talk, this and that, very functional thing. if I was, I was like, because I didn't spend very long in the working world, professional office setup,
Yeah.
you know, that environment. I don't have much like censorship on myself. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
kind of raw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also lack of like emotional intelligence and stuff, right?
Oh.
So on the sales calls, let's say I'm talking to someone I never spoke to them before.
Yeah.
I had to heavily censor myself, because if I was myself on those, they would never buy. I don't know, I just feel a bit raw. Yeah. But because you're saying work, so I'm thinking, okay, when it comes to my business. These days, when it comes to my business, like when I'm coaching people or something, no, I am myself mostly, I would say, yes. But I'm just saying there are times, like with the sales calls, where, yes, I would probably just not share much whatsoever, and I was more kind of fake, yeah.
Although I do like to leverage myself, my real self at work with the customers as opposed to the colleagues. And I think it's because it goes a long way.
Your
know?
brand image
Well,
as
just
a
be real.
non-white guy.
I just like being real though to people.
Yeah,
because they expect you to be 100% positive about everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you come with the look. I know that.
I'm like, listen, look. No, I'll come with like, look, yeah, you've got an issue there. I understand that. I've got an issue with the same thing. Let's talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Trying to say, hey, listen, this is who I am. What I'm talking to you is who I am. It's not where I come from isn't what I represent, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that way, actually, you get a lot of buy-in. And I'm not doing that just to get buy-in. I'm doing that just to have a genuine conversation with somebody that actually means something, and it's not just trying to achieve a pointless goal that no one actually really cares about deeply.
Yeah, a bit of what's the word? Genuinity, genuineness.
One more. One of Allah's names is your protecting friend. Name a time in your life where you have felt that name in existence.
First thing that comes to mind is fell asleep driving, crashed.
Oh yeah.
Didn't die.
Subhanallah.
That's one. There's another one. This is a good story, actually. I was in Algeria. There were some sort of protests, some sort of civil unrest. And, I guess I shouldn't have. I mean, my family, my aunt and all that were telling me, like, don't leave the house, just stay. But I don't know, I went out. There were police, bro. The whole main street of the city was lined with what they call like riot police vans. Must have been 50 of them, 100, like a lot of them, yeah. But anyway, the police are out. There's all these protest people like throwing rocks maybe at them and stuff like that. And the police just came with the tear gas canisters. And I remember like when they came out with the canisters, I was like, okay, I should probably like back off. When I was backing off, maybe they thought I was involved. And anyway, the point is I'm trying to get away, go down a side street, and a canister like just goes past my head. Like full speed, and that probably knock you out in it more than that, Yanni. Maybe could kill you, right? So that was, wow, that was like, yo. I feel like there was a few of these, but I won't keep going on.
No, yeah. A lot of them were going to be driving, aren't they? A lot of stuff.
Yes.
A lot of them will be driving. Like, alhamdulillah, I've never, walillahi alhamd, had any sort of accident or anything, like even a bump.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, and God knows how many years I've been driving. But I do recall, like, literally almost dying with my dad in Tunisia. It's not a major thing. We were driving in the Tunisia motorway, and there's like a car really far in the distance, like really far up in the distance, going the same direction. And I think I had the window open. I was wearing a hat, and the wind just blew my hat to the back seat. So my dad's driving, and I'm like digging around, looking for my hat, trying to reach for my hat. My dad, may Allah bless him, and may Allah widen his grave.
Amen.
He wanted to help me out. He's like, oh, I'll get it for you. I'm like, Daddy, you're driving. Like, let me do it. Get it for you. Literally 5 seconds, bro. Like, not even that. Less than that. We're both looking behind, trying to find my hat. And like, I just look in front, And that car that was a million miles away was right, like we're about to go straight into this car. And I just grab the wheel and I just pull it like that. And then as I'm doing that, my dad grabs my hand to stop me because he hates it when I touch the wheel while he's driving. Like his Arab reaction was, get your hand off, but then realized what I'm trying to do and did the same thing. Bro, like this much, bro. We almost like obliterated ourselves. What it essentially was, that car that was really far away, we didn't realize was like broken down and like going really slowly, like super slowly. So it wasn't, at first it looked like it was going the same speed as us, but no, it really wasn't. Bro, we always used to speak about that. And actually, even when he was dying, when he could still speak, I remember we brought it up. And I was like, subhanAllah, like, Dad, we almost died that day, and this was the day that was written for you, not then, you know. And he had a big, you know, thinking session about that, because actually, I remember us always bringing that up, like, subhanAllah. And I used to think a lot. I was like, that wasn't my written time, and it wasn't for my dad, but this was my written time this was the written time for my dad. And then it's like, well, when's my written time? And no matter what you do, you know, there's people, subhanAllah, that I've had jump off of cliffs, like I've mentioned before, suicide attempts and stuff, and a lot of the time they die. And bro, sometimes they just don't. Like, sometimes you just look at that cliff and you're like, how did they survive that? Yeah, they've busted their leg, they've snapped both of their legs, and they're bleeding out everywhere, but they're alive and they're conscious and they're talking, and they regret the jump, but they're going to be fine. They might not be able to use their legs for a long time or ever, but that wasn't written for them. So no matter for some people, no matter what they do, as long as their time is not ordained, it's not happening, you know. And then for other people, you could, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you could be in the most secured fortress of all time, Fort Knox and a half, and you get a heart attack, you know, or you'll get some worm or something in your brain, or some tumor develops, or whatever it is, and your time has come, you know. And everyone thinks they're the main character, and they're going to have a very predicted death, one that's, they'll be informed about it before it happens, and everyone will be around them, and it's going to be very epic, like a movie, you know. But why is it all these people that you see just like that? They're crossing the road, they don't even know. They're walking in a protest, and a tear gas canister smacks them in the head. They didn't even see it coming. We could just be one of those people, just do not see it coming. And I think that's what I'm trying to keep alive in my mind. So I go to sleep expecting to wake up. I cross the road expecting to get the other side. You know, I turn my car on expecting to just drive safe and get to where I need to go. We will do it. But
there's also protection in terms of protecting you from a sin, from falling into a sin.
Oh yes, there definitely is. 100%. Yeah. We don't have to go into details.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go into that.
No, don't go into details. But 100, like, even prior to when I was just learning a little bit about this deen, now I look back at things, I'm like, yeah, 100%, no doubt. And that's our rahmah. That is actually one of the biggest signs to me of Allah's existence, and watch why. Because there could have been some things you were so hell-bent on doing and it just didn't happen. You know? It's incredible. It's incredible guidance of Allah, how it works. And I think the key to all of this is sincerity. The key to all of this is sincerely asking Allah for protection, sincerely, constantly asking Allah for guidance, as we mentioned earlier, and just constantly trying to foster that relationship with Allah. Just this, you know, one of Allah's names is your protecting friend. The key word here is friend. How do you treat a friend? You talk to them, you share things with them, you trust them. You understand? That's how you treat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You confide in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it, bro. We'll end it on that, I think.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. mindheistpodcast.com